Yeah, they're slow, man, because they know we're talking shit.
Mark Zuckerberg is on. Oh yeah, you think I have nothing else better to do tonight?
Yeah, yeah. Then watch the Blue Falcon podcast. You guys are on my radar now.
Oh yeah. Well, who's the Blue Falcon now? Mark. All right, we're good.
Haha. We're live.
So what'd you think about the?
It's good to be back.
Hey, it's great to have you back, David. I missed you. Uh,
Appreciate
you're
it,
a
man.
huge friend
Yeah.
of mine. I always say, you're huge cocks to me. Because you hold a huge part in my heart. So,
Yeah.
but as you were saying
Hey, man,
earlier,
people that suffer together bond, you know?
let's hit on that. Do you remember the phrase "embrace the suck"?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like day one, right? Just embrace the suck, man. I don't know who says it, but somebody there already knows it, and then they just start saying it.
I think had to be one of the drill
Someone's
sergeants.
uncle from Vietnam keeps telling people this, and then that guy shows up to basic, and then that just keeps spiraling and forever. You know?
Or the
It's
National
never gonna
Guard
go
guys.
away.
Remember
Oh
the
yeah,
National Guard guys who
my
would like
favorites.
stop in.
Hmm.
All right,
They go
so
get their milkshakes and their delicious food.
and then tell us. We're gonna go down a rabbit hole on that. Let's go back to the
Can't go
serious
to the
topic.
PX.
All right, back to the serious topic, and then we'll hit on the PX trips, because you're really giving some, I think, really good life advice for especially young soldiers, or young men in general. So you had
Oh,
you
I
had
hope so, man.
a dysfunctional relationship with this female. From what I could tell, you take
Yeah, yeah.
ownership in it, which is great.
Yeah, everybody, you're 50-50 responsible in a marriage, man. So if it goes bad, you start looking at the mirror, figure it out. So be better later. That's what I always say.
And break the mirror,
Um,
right? Oh no, okay. I thought that was.
well, I mean, when she moved out, she like trashed my place, so I had to like fix a bunch of walls and paint stuff because she was like just nightmare. But anyway, so yeah, that terrible relationship was dragging on for a year before I got out of the army. So I spent like a year constantly either being like forced into, the barracks for a weekend as a cool down or whatever, even though she didn't even live in the state. If she says something and reports it, apparently Fort Hood had a policy that was like 72 hours, no contact. You hang out at the barracks or the CQ desk, because eventually it just became a cot that I got to sleep at the CQ desk. So that was nice.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But eventually, yeah, and I actually one time slept inside of a closet that like housed all the internet connections to the barracks. So if your internet went out, I am sorry, but I was just pulling plugs, just having a great time.
Zero Fs.
Yeah, I was like, this room looks fuck you. So,
Hey,
but
tell me how your
if you were
Call of
wondering
Duty is
why,
going.
there was like, yeah, it's just so great. It's so fun, isn't it? Um, but yeah, so it was a nightmare. But eventually, I used a lawyer and was like, "Hey, man, I gotta get you to do something for me." And so we sent a flurry of papers out, a bunch of statements, and then I had my lawyer just start talking to people at work, and it calmed down pretty quick after that, because it was one of those things that some of the stuff that they were doing at Fort Hood was borderline, and I would, back in the day, I was so sure, right? I was certain that I could,
Great.
get something over on somebody if I needed to. But my lawyer was like, nah, just wait. But there was some stuff that was like, honestly, you can probably go ahead and start writing letters to senators and congressmen and start getting some people fired. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. So let's just send a letter to these guys and let them know that I'm going to do that if they don't stop. And then everything stopped right away.
Good for
So,
you.
but I mean, you can only do that. Yeah, you can only do that when you've gone 7 days with no shower, no food, and sleeping in a cot, like in a closet. So, like, no, man. So, uh,
Not 8 days.
it gets a little.
8 days is like you're overdue.
I,
6 days is pushing it. 7 days
I
for sure.
believe. Yeah, I think like there was something like it was considered like unlivable condition. The food thing was what got him. It was like 4 days without food, something like that. So.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know you went through all that.
But anyways, I had people sneak me MREs, but they didn't legally have anything charted on their little CQ log that they took me to get food, so they were fucked. So fill out
That's
your
crazy.
CQ log, boys.
And here's your CQ log.
Yeah. Yeah, I made photocopies of it every day. I was just in there like getting evidence. So I mean, it chilled out after that. And then basically the threats of like trying to chapter me or get me dishonorably discharged like went away. And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna get out. Like I'm just gonna go fill out my ETS form, do all my shit, turn my gear in, and go. But there was like 3 months I had to wait, and nobody, it was like you could re-enlist and all that stuff, and nobody ever came and asked me if I wanted to re-enlist.
They didn't ask you?
Because they already knew they didn't want me there. Nope. No, they didn't want me there, man. And I wouldn't have joined again, but in the window, I had the little thing on my little, what's that called? The internet, the mill website, like where you can see how long you have left and how much time you have in your re-enlistment window.
Bro,
so they should have had a retention NCO. Definitely come find me. Anyways,
I'm
they never had a
sure
retention
that's
NCO find me.
obligatory.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's obligatory for a retention NCO to find you. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, they didn't care, and I didn't care, and I had already told them straight up. I was like, I don't care, and you guys are going to Afghanistan. Like, I hope you all die. Like, bye. It was very like dark. I was not happy, and they knew that. But
I don't know how they would tell.
Is,
I can't even tell.
No. I was trying to be a good soldier at one point, and I even went so far as when things weren't going so good with me, I went to the doctor. I said, hey, I got all these problems. I've got this going on. I've got this going on. I'm not feeling good here. I don't want to kill myself or anything, but like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know who can help me. And I feel like if I try to talk to these people, all they're trying to do is give me Article 15s, and then these guys are just my buddies in the Army. They don't have any work. Nobody can help me here. And what advice is a 19-year-old kid really going to tell another 19 or 20-year-old kid with that level of problem?
Need a beer?
It's not going to be. Yeah, I was like, I need an adult. So someone adult with me, please. And the guy, I can vaguely, remember. I don't really remember if he was actually a doctor. I'm pretty sure he was, but I mean, he was a medical professional to some higher level. It wasn't just like a nurse or anything like that. It was like a guy. I had to wait for an appointment. And I spilled my guts for like 3 hours just talking to this guy. And just at the very end of it, he just kind of flat looked at me and was just like, there's nothing I can do to help you. And I don't know what to tell you. I was like, there's nothing you can do to help me? He was like, there's nothing I can do to help you. I was like, there's not a book or a counseling class or somebody.
Was this guy's last day?
Who?
Was it his last day? And he's like,
no, he went on to deploy with these guys. No, he went to deploy with them.
Didn't give you the Bible.
I mean, some captain or major. Yeah, nothing. And it made me so mad later. At first, I was very just like, I felt alone, and I felt really deserted and just kind of abandoned, like used. I just was like, really? Like, come on, man. Like, you don't tell anybody that there's nothing you could do for them if they're having a crisis, right?
When you are the person they come to for the crisis. Yeah,
you're the guy I'm supposed to see. Yeah, you guys tell us all the time every weekend for 3-day weekends, if this shit's going on, you got to go here, right? So like, I went there.
And he's like, sorry, man, we got nothing for your ass. You're done. You're done, son.
He told me he could, like, I think after a while of pushing, he was like, well, I can write you a prescription of this drug. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to take it. So I just took the prescription and threw it in the garbage. But, anyways, that was like one of the big motivators for me when I got out, a few months after I got out, of like, all right, so what do I want to do for the rest of my life that's not military technically, but still feel like I'm, doing something, helping people, and, because that was why we joined the military in the first place, right? Go help people, do something, build a country, build an economy, build an industry, whatever.
Build that ego.
Of course, in the back
I'll be honest about
that.
I
want to shoot some shit. Yeah. And I want to blow some shit up and have fun, and jump out of planes and whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Um,
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
I was uh, I was pissed. So I remember when I got out, I got July 24th, 2014. I had my ETS papers in my hand. I walked out the door and I ripped all my like name tabs off and shit and walked by some lieutenant and I didn't even salute him. I just went straight to my car, like fuck you,
Damn.
and just got in my car. And yeah, I was still wearing a uniform. I just started taking things off because I was like, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back.
Were you
I
like some
just
kind of like terrible
yeah.
stripper scenario? You know, like that, like reverse stripper, basically. Like
Yes.
I'm done
Oh,
here.
baby. You want to see me unzip this blouse that's dirty? Yeah. So, but the that night I got out, I went home and I packed everything up in a U-Haul that I already had sitting there, and I basically just like got everything set. One of my buddies, Christopher Donahue, he helped me car on a trailer and just kind of get it all set up. And at like 5 a.m. The next morning, I got up, drove over to the apartment place, threw the keys in the little drop box, and just dipped out and drove 26 hours, something like that, until I got to Indiana, where my family lives. And at the time, it was just my mom because my parents they're not with each other. But they so I went home. I was like, all right, my plan is I'm gonna go see my mom. I haven't seen her in like 4 years. Nobody's been able to visit me, and the last year has been shitty. So I'm gonna go see my family. My grandma and grandpa live down there. Just kind of see what's up. Yeah, I'll couch surf at my mom's house for a couple days and see where it's at, and then try to figure out life from there. All right. So I got up there, and I just kept my U-Haul all packed up because I wasn't really sure where I was going to end up. And I think one of the first things I did is I was like, well, I got to go to school probably because I just have a GED and a discharge from the Army that says honorable, but I don't know what you can get with that now.
Right.
Like probably not much. Um, and so I was like, well, I gotta go to school. And so I looked at university, and it was very expensive, and I did not want to pay. Sorry about that, man. I'm spilling beer on myself. Um,
We didn't get it
I
on
did
me.
not want
We're
to
good.
pay. I got these nitro stouts, man. They're leaking some stuff. Give me a second, man. I gotta get a little paper towel.
So let me tell you guys why he does this. A little story about Mr. David Cox. In basic training, this guy was pretty much the how to put this. If there was a way to possibly sneak some candy out of some extra MREs or get an extra meal, David was the one who knew how to do it, or he already had it. Am I pretty accurate on that? And he can't hear me. And he was also way worse of a shot than me, and I was way faster and smarter than he was too. It says he can't hear me. That's what I'm gonna say about him. While he's doing that, I'll take this time to answer all the questions and stuff I have on my TikTok live stream and on Facebook. Let's see here.
All right, brother. Sorry about that, man. Got this
No, you're good, man.
alligator skin desk or whatever.
So
I wanted to
you
find
got
out.
asked on TikTok if you know a guy named Howard.
Ooh, Howard. Last name Howard? Howard.
Yeah. I know like 5 off the
Howard.
top of my head. Off the top of my head.
I think I do. Maybe in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean,
There.
we definitely know Howard's, but I doubt it's probably the same one.
Yeah.
Odds are it's kind of like, do you know Brittany? Am I in the South? Yeah, I know a lot of them.
Oh, I know several.
Half of them are like hairdressers. Which one?
I know all. Yeah, for sure. But anyways, yeah, man. I got out and I just enrolled right away into a community college. if you didn't know, you can pretty much go to community college without touching your GI Bill if you're smart. Now, if you're in a situation where you need a place to live and you need the GI Bill money and all that stuff, you're probably going to have to use it. But my goal was to not use it at community college because I figured, well, I'll go get a bachelor's degree and maybe a master's degree or something else. And then I have my 4 years, which will cover the rest of my 2 years of my bachelor's and maybe 2 years of a master's or something, right? So I got away right away, applied, and started classes like a month after getting back into Indiana. And my mom at the time was getting into, like, she had this crazy idea where she wanted to start flipping houses and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of money saved up from the Army, just from not being able to spend any of it. So we bought a house, and
can't really spend a lot of money in a closet.
Yeah.
Find out.
Can't do shit, man. I had months of pay. It was great. And all that TSP savings account, in basic, I was like, oh, I'll just put 5% in this TSP account. And I got out and I was like, holy shit, I have $20,000 or whatever. Like, that's great. So
Fair enough.
I took all that money and bought a little shithole house kind of across the street for like 30 grand and fixed it up for a few months and lived in it and got it all nice. And I was doing community college at the time. And I mean, when I talk about speed running community college, I might be the winner. So I started with 0 credits basically. And I've been 14 or 16 months of time for the amount of classes I was taking. I just took as many as I could get that they would let me get and that would work with my schedule. And I did fall, I did winter course, and I did spring, I did summer, and another fall. And so I did like 6 or 7 semesters technically back to back.
Would you say
that was the way mine was set
time
up? They had a semester
helped?
that ran.
Like your focus?
Oh yeah, man. I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do when I was in the military, of how I wanted to like get stuff done in order, for sure.
Right.
I mean, you have 4 years to plan, your big escape, like you're out of prison, right? But
how much longer are you in for, man?
So I got done
That's
with
a real
community
question.
college. Yeah, it was. And I was getting close to being done with community college, and I was like, okay, I got to apply to like real college now. I got to get into a real school. So I sent out, the common application to college, and I applied to like 5 schools because I was like, I just want to go to these 5 places. If I can get in here, we'll see. And somehow I got an email because I was doing really good at school. I was getting 4.0s every semester and all this. And so they were like, you're on all this stuff. And somebody sent me an email from Cornell University.
Wow.
Which is it's a big school if you don't care about school rankings.
If you don't know what Cornell is, just stop listening to the podcast.
In the terms of universities. Some people don't, man. Like, I didn't actually really know. Like, when I showed up to Cornell or when I applied to Cornell, I had no idea that school was even a real school until I applied. Like, I did not know. So I know what Harvard is. I know what Yale is, but I did not know that Cornell was an Ivy League and all this stuff.
Well, my analogy is like watching The Office.
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah,
sure
I kind of missed that. I was a little,
okay. Okay, fair enough.
I think I was behind. Didn't really get to see. I know Andy from Cornell, or the Office guy. He's super Cornell guy now.
Yeah.
So everybody talked about that at school.
See, I went to Cornell, so I was on that.
But so I got some email from somebody, and I just threw it on my app and I applied, and all of a sudden I got a phone call, and this guy was like, "Hey, you're in community college right now, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's your GPA?" I was like, "I've got a 3.94, sir." He goes, "Oh, okay." And I go, "Yeah." And he's like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I was infantry, and then I served from this time to this time, and I was here and here and here, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Oh, okay." He's like, "And you're out now?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm out." He's like, "A veteran, like a reserve guy?" I was like, No, I'm just out. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't have to do anything anymore. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm just trying to do school." He goes, "Oh, well, we're trying to get as many veterans to get into Cornell as possible because we're doing this big push, because it's come to our attention that in the Ivy League universities, no one is a veteran. So we have to be representative of the population of the United States to a certain degree. That means we have to have this many percentage of, white people and black people and Native Americans and whatever. So we have to get as many people as we can. But the problem is no one as a veteran is applying to Cornell. They're just not sending an application in. So public service announcement, if you happen to have some college and you're going to be done, you don't even have to have an associate's degree, just do some college, like a year, whatever. And you've got
something to show that you have some kind of,
I mean,
something to show you have on paper you can do school.
A C is probably okay somewhere, but B's are higher. If you apply to Cornell and you say you're a veteran and you want to go to school, and don't be unreasonable, don't say you want to be some sort of physics major and study super space, whatever, you're not going to make it. It's not going to happen. But if you apply, if you apply to, and I'll break this down a little further, but if you apply to the right program and you have a reasonable goal, they will probably call you. And they did to me, and he said, well, I can't tell you that you're accepted right now, but I need to know for my purposes, if you were accepted to Cornell, would you come? And I was like, well, absolutely. Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to get into university and do that. He's like, okay. And then, a couple days later, I got an email that said like, hey, open this up. Our decision's been made. And I opened it up and it was like, you've been accepted to Cornell University. It's like, oh shit. Like,
didn't expect that.
Like,
that's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Time out. Because this is a really fast paced story. So how much of did you want to like go out on top of your roof at that point and just yell from the
I was
top of the house?
Laying in bed. I was laying in bed and I had my phone and I got an email and it had Cornell as the headline. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is going to be the yes or no. And I need to know.
But you went from
this is going to be
and literally in a closet. Hating your life.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry.
Pretty much. Hungry, dirty, pissed at my wife, pissed at my unit.
Friends.
Everything. I had like 3, 4, right? This wasn't a lot. So, and all of a sudden it just turned around. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to go to Cornell and I'm going to do school as hard as I can do school. Like, what is the most shit I can do and get out of this, right? Because if I'm going for this opportunity, I got to get the most out of it. I got to take everything, whether that's social connections or family connections or business or whatever. So when I got accepted, I went to there for a degree in biology with a subspecialty in infectious disease, because I was like, all right, I'm pretty good at science. I'm pretty good at microbiology.
Did you talk to Bill Gates about this whole coronavirus thing?
I'm probably on a list somewhere due to the knowledge I have about certain viruses, because I have taken virus classes before. So they do keep it, and I've graduated. So, I assume
surprise.
That they keep tabs on people who know how to manipulate DNA. But the degree I went for was biology and society and sociology, or whatever you want to call it. And I showed up there, and I didn't really know how I was going to pay for this place, because it's $60,000 a year, right? Like, how am I supposed to pay $60,000 to go to school? There's no way. You got something on the side?
Yeah, we have a fire going in the living room. I'm gonna go make sure that she doesn't fall into the fire. You keep telling your story.
Oh, like a fireplace fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the house. So I'll be way more intense if my house is on fire.
Hey.
But yeah.
I mean, we've had worse.
Yeah, you're right. We have.
All right, so I guess, I'll just kind of finish this part up. So for anybody out there, if you're going for a higher degree in school, I recommend looking and considering Ivy League universities, particularly Cornell and Yale. Columbia is a very good one as well. They seem to be the friendliest when it comes to veteran programs, but I would apply to all of them if I could. Again, probably B's are higher, A's are better. If it's community college, I mean, as your degree, if you have any college right now, get some community college done and work really hard to get those A's, because you will look really good. And then once I was good at going to school, it was like, I have to figure out how to come up with $60,000 a year. This is not going to happen. And I only have a GI Bill. But because I had served in the military, you're considered an independent student. So what I ended up doing is I filed for financial aid first and was like, well, hey, I'm an independent student. I need financial aid. What are you going to give me before I use this GI Bill? I didn't even bring it up. I don't even talk about the GI Bill with these people. And they came back and said, oh no, you're so poor on paperwork that your tax level is so low and your income is whatever that we consider you, I guess like a special case. So they ended up giving me an internal grant from the school, and the school basically paid for my entire education while I was there. So I did about 2 years, 2.5 actually, with Cornell University, working and studying and all that stuff. And then kind of when I was there, I realized, all right, so like, what am I going to do after I get a degree? Because I need a job. I got to find some way to get paid. At some point, I only have this degree. I could go work for the government and just do, CDC work or something like that. But I ended up applying to medical school just because everybody else seemed to be doing it, or at least trying to do it because it's very hard to get in now. So I sent an application to medical school and I applied to like 100 programs. It was kind of a lot. That'll take it out of you. It's insane. So I applied to a bunch of places. Then slowly I got interviews, and then I got this school in New York hit me up and they're like, hey man, we got the campus here in New York, but we also have the campus in Arkansas. I was like, oh great, send me to Arkansas, get me the hell out of here. So I took the acceptance there and I got sent down to Arkansas, and I finished that up. And now I'm in Shreveport. So if you're trying to do school, there's a way to do it without touching your GI Bill. I turned mine on to do my medical school because there was no grants or anything there. So I just basically went to the school and said, hey, I've got a GI Bill and I want to be a doctor. And they were like, oh, we've already accepted you. Shit, we have to take it. And so then once I turned my GI Bill on, yellow ribbon and everything like that, covers everything. So I got very lucky. I know people though that are use their GI Bill on their community college, but I would try to suggest you don't do it. Because it's worth more for bachelors for sure, because it's going to cost so much.
So what's the over under there on the time it takes to sit down and figure all this out versus the tens of thousands of dollars you could have lost? Probably a good investment of your time.
I mean, yeah, it definitely will take you a few hours to plan it out. But I mean, the rules are plainly spelled out in the GI Bill, bills and codes and laws and stuff if you read it. But I kind of just sat down and was like, how do I not pay a ton of money? And Cornell ended up giving me a grant to cover my whole education, just, because I was like, oh, you're so poor on paper. You have no money. You made only, $20,000 as an infantryman. You got no money. We're not even charge you. So they didn't charge me any money to go to school. So I just had to pay for like books and where I was living. And I think they even gave me a dorm room included in that cost. So I just had to pay, and a meal card. So I had food. Like I didn't have to do shit. I just had to pay for books. So I just showed up to class and just rocked it, just try to get in there, push all these little 17, 18-year-old kids into the ground and, kick ass, because I was like 25, man. So I was older than everybody, which was nice. But they were whiny little kids, man. Tell you what, they were crying all the time.
All right, so right now, I'm going to pull myself back up on here because I know if you're like me, you hate hearing yourself talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to listen to the audio on.
Yeah. Well, I heard you. I thought you. I just did.
Okay. Let's check out the audio now on Facebook. So this is why I need a Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you sound good.
Jamie, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, I mean,
Okay, sounds good.
and then I think when I finally decided to be a doctor, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do what I need to do so that somebody else that's sitting in a chair at some point that's asking for help doesn't get told, there's nothing I can do to help you. Because that's like the worst thing I think anybody wants to hear, right? So, and maybe I don't have anything to help you, but I'm going to come up with some bullshit because you need to feel good.
I'm gonna fake
right
it.
now, you know? I'm right. Like I'm going to tell you to come back and see me next week. Like anything. I don't care.
Or to me, like at least give somebody a
You
Bible.
shouldn't let somebody
Say,
just
hey
walk
man,
out.
I hear that like there's some answers in here. I have nothing for you. Good luck.
Yeah.
You know, something.
Yeah. I mean, but that is the kind of stuff that had I been anybody else, different kinds of situations, like that guy, in my office telling me that story, and I say, hey, man, there's nothing I can do to help you. That guy is going to walk out of there and shoot himself in his car,
If not worse.
Like that's the level. Yeah. Or shoot somebody, or I don't know, just
Yeah.
whatever.
Totally
And
possible.
it was just like, you can't play with that stuff, man. So.
Well, I think
Now
what's
I'm
really
finishing up school.
go ahead.
Sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
The delay catches. Oh no! So now I'm just finishing up. I got like 4 quizzes left and 1 test, and I'm just done with school at this point. So
And then it's
almost
all
there.
the money,
Dr. Cox.
money.
Yeah. Then I'll be calling you up, asking you how to fucking deal with it. I don't know
Bro,
what to do.
is this a good time to plug my business right now? You don't need a lot of money to talk to a financial advisor.
Definitely.
Okay.
No.
This is my biggest pet peeve. You know what? I'll take that back. That's not my biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve is Dave Ramsey. Anyway, don't get me started on that guy. So my biggest pet peeve is Dave Ramsey. Next to that is seeing myself and friends and family that need to be putting away $50 a month, $100 a month,
Yes.
right?
Never.
To something. And
Definitely.
this whole, man, I know a lot of people may not know this, but I consider myself pretty smart, and very few select friends of mine know how smart I am, or at least they tell me how smart I am. And it's difficult to convey. Well, you're about to be a doctor. Imagine having to explain somebody to somebody that has a bullet wound in them about why you're doing what you're going to do to them. No, you just do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, man, this is what you got to do.
Just
Okay,
go to sleep. I'll do it. Yeah.
Right? You have no idea
Yeah.
what you're in store
how
for.
do antibiotics work?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Bill Nye the Science Guy, come on in here. And then he comes in. Well, I'm glad you asked. And so so there's a lot of market manipulation going on right now, and it's.
I know. I've seen it. GameStop, man. GameStop. Coming.
So to the moon, as I say.
Don't buy GameStop.
Or do, or do, and be okay with losing everything. But I'm not okay with losing everything.
You'd be better off.
Okay, so you ready for this? Oh, by the way, I'm not a licensed financial advisor in Bitcoin currency, so I'm not allowed to. This is my personal opinion.
Right.
Why do you think Bitcoin's going up?
Well, it sounds a lot like a pump and dump to me.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Never mind. I guess this is the end of that conversation. I'm glad you see that. That's exactly what this is.
I hope so. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know, but it feels like it's not really gonna keep going to that 100K everyone's magically talking about. But I know that
who's
the reason
magically talking about it
is because it has a. Well, I have people at work that seem certain that Bitcoin is, the way to go.
Yeah, I bet
Elon
if you have
Musk
money
is
invested,
about to make $1 billion.
Okay, time out on that. You ready for this? You know what? You want to know why Elon Musk is doing that? First off, he's a genius. I wish I was as smart as he. I wish I was half as smart as he was. He's doing it for 2 purposes.
Yeah.
One, because he already has a lot of Bitcoin, personally, and he knows he can use
I bet.
social
Pretty good.
media influence to have a
Yeah,
personal
to
gain
push it up.
while using his company as a influencer to boost it up. Now, there's two scenarios. Bitcoin goes to $100,000 next year, and Elon Musk says, "Hey guys,
Maybe. Then I'm wrong, I guess.
hold on. This is Elon Musk, thinking this through, right? So Elon Musk has Tesla, and Tesla bought, a lot of shares of Bitcoin, and they're worth a
It
certain
was like
price
a
right now.
$1 billion investment or something like that. Yeah, it was
Right.
insane.
So if he has that's also, I think that's a personal stake too. Anyway, yeah. So $1 billion. Let's say it goes up to $100,000 a share. So now he has $3 billion. Did you know how he's going to write that off on his taxes?
I
No,
don't
he doesn't
know.
have to because he
Lost
has
some
capital
money?
gains, so he can put it off to
Okay.
later.
There you go.
Oh, it falls. Bummer. Why isn't that a loss? Tax deduction.
Yeah, just what he needs to keep everything running. Yeah. I mean, it's very smart, but he's working with huge amounts. I don't think the average person should buy Bitcoin. I do think, it's important to take some money and buy things like, you know, Coca-Cola stock is one of my favorite ones. They seem to always be, having a reasonable volume to trade on that you can make money on it if you're willing to hold it out a little bit longer.
Okay.
If you're doing like 2 months in between trades, you'll be all right. Coca-Cola
Um.
is one of my favorite ones. I made a
Okay.
good amount of money off the Moderna vaccine because I happened to know that, but that was,
Hey, good for you.
you know,
Why would you not use that?
I just was at the right place, right time, read an article, and was like, I'm buying that stock right now. Boom. I got a stimulus check. I'm buying this stock, and I'm just gonna wait.
You got one of those? See, it took a while for me
I
to get mine.
did, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to
Just
read
a poor
something
student,
something to
man.
you, and this is totally a pitch. Okay, not to you, but this is a pitch for my. This is the Bobby Money pitch. This is the paid advertisement, so you guys don't have to actually listen to my pillow. I'm Mike Lindell, yeah, so you don't have to listen to that.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to give you an example of something that your retirement plan does not have, and you guess what this is. Cool?
Gold.
Gold.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I'll guess
No.
after you're done.
All right, so you have tax-free accumulation, tax-free income at retirement, unlimited borrowing. I say unlimited borrowing, you can't put $1 in and take out $1 million. Unlimited borrowing is in there's no restrictions. Your contributions are unlimited. Versus your 401k, your funds are available without penalty before you're 60, 59 and a half if you want to be an asshole about it. You can access the money within 6 days. If you become disabled, it continues to act as if you were putting money into it. So that whatever you're investing in actually puts in the money for you that you were putting in before if you become disabled, which is a 1 in 4 chance. You know that. It's excellent collateral for business. If you want to go get real estate or open up your own business or etc., your banks want collateral. Banks want to know they're going to get paid if something happens to you. And last but not least, in most states, it is outside the realm of your assets that are touchable by lawyers if you get sued. What am I?
My gut
Oh,
says
oh,
a
oh,
house.
hold on. And also, 4 to 6% rate of return historically over 175 years.
You're either a house or a bond of some kind.
I would say those are pretty accurate guesses. This is whole life insurance.
Ah, I have heard. I had a friend who is actually a millionaire talk to me about purchasing life insurance to make money on it, but I was a little young and stupid and didn't really know what he was saying. So I've always
Bro.
heard that that's a very good way to make money, and he has more than because people basically, they die and then it pays out. You know,
That's not how that works at all.
so
Um, you become your own bank.
I think that's the opposite of what you want it to work. You don't want it to pay out.
Hold on, it depends. So I had the exact same. The most wealthy person that I know right now that I started college with tried to sell me a whole life insurance policy
Mm-hmm.
when I was at Fort Hood, and I looked at it and I was like, 4 to 5% rate of return, tax free. Man, I could make like 10% in the market. Dave Ramsey, I've read like 3 of his books. Like, I could make so much more money in the market. And then I went and bought some beer. Coming to find out, he's in the position he's at right now. First off, because he works his ass off. First off, John does. John, I hope you're watching right now. I love you. But he also has been taught by his family, and he learned at New York Life, which is one of my competitors, that there's 4 companies, life insurance companies, that have paid dividends to their clients that have policies with them every single year for the past over 175 years.
Mm-hmm.
Most life insurance companies,
so they're reliable. We know that they're not probably going to fault.
I mean, we're talking about you better have bullets. It doesn't matter how many dollars you got at that point. And you have the opposite of that, though. So Dave Ramsey, I was taught from Mr. Jesus Christ, send him down to us middle class poor folk who are so stupid himself. Dave Ramsey, thank God he was there to save us from whole life insurance. And I cannot tell you how much.
Watch you find out he has like millions in his portfolio.
Bro, he has so much whole life insurance. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was buying it up the whole time. Just
okay, so the purpose of whole life insurance is not to get rich. You don't get rich off whole life insurance. But now, if you have
not right away.
Not right away. However, if you were to say, I'm going to put away money that I don't want to lose when the economy sinks. I want to have assets that I can cash in on when everything else is on sale and that's not affected by the economy. It's smart to put 15%, to me it's 5 to 15% of your income into a properly structured, you actually have to, very few people know how to structure these properly, which is another problem, but structure it properly to where in 5-10 years, if instead of putting $2,000 to $3,000 a year into a bank account to buy a new car, imagine putting $3,000 into a bank account earning 1% that's taxed for 10 years versus putting $3,000 into a bank account that earns 5%.
0.49% on my checking account or something's account. It's absolutely garbage. I don't even keep money in there to save it. It's only to pay bills. I just try to take my money, and invest it. But right now, I've just been sitting on everything because the market, I'm not playing into literally the economy is just woo, woo, and I'm just not trying to catch the wrong part of the wave. So I'm just hanging out.
And so that's the weird and awesome part about our conversation here, because this is actually a great plug. I'm totally gonna clip this. I'm not in the business of losing money. Every dollar I earn, I want to keep.
Yeah, I like that. It's good.
I'm in the business of giving people guarantees. I want to be able to give people guarantees that, hey, whenever the market's volatile or whenever your business is risky or a million different things could be going on in the world, you need to have a place where you can store your cash consistently throughout your life that's earning 5% tax free versus 0.5%. And it literally adds up to millions of dollars
It's
depending on your
ridiculous.
income.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Clipped.
that's a solid way to go about it for sure. I think having an investment vehicle that's like that. Now, I'm of the mind that like always don't keep your eggs in one basket, whatever.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
definitely
try to
not.
deal in you know I try to deal in portions of like so. An example budget of mine is 30% of my income is for bills and like payments to like cars or whatever the fuck I have to pay, right? Just shit like that. At least 70% of my income, which is like, okay, that's left over. But, 10 to 15% is like your food. I don't count that as a bill. Like that's your food, that's your gas. That's just like, your
Vacation.
stuff to keep living, go to the movies, rent a
Yeah, you gotta have
movie,
fun. Like,
whatever. Yeah, something. Yeah, so it really leaves about 55% of the income left over to like kind of, like what's up. And, uh, that's, it's just not, it's not enough.
it's my time outside. Did you
Time
just say
out.
you have 50% of your income left over?
Oh, when I work, yeah, yeah, that's usually what I work for. 50%. I pay myself first. I pay myself half.
Everyone who's watching this, I'm definitely clipping this. Please understand that his standard right now is significantly higher than everyone I've met who's not a millionaire already. And let me say that again. Everyone that I know that's a millionaire has this guy's standard. And you're telling
I
me
guess I hope I can get there, man.
you save 50% of your income and you can go to the lottery. You can go to a casino if you're saving 50% of your money and probably be okay. I wouldn't suggest that.
Yeah.
But you're saving 50% of your income. Did you know that most people that I talk to that are not already in a advantageous standpoint, that haven't already, learned how to save, most of them generally struggle to save 5%.
Yeah, they're probably caught in like a debt cycle, man. But I try to, even if I have debt that I pay, I consider that like a revolving amount. I don't really care about getting it to zero.
Completely different situation, right?
Yeah,
So,
but I
so
don't rack up a lot of debt, like card debt, credit card. You have your car, you have your house, that's fine. But like car, like shit, just buy shit. Like I don't have to.
I was guilty of that in the army, dude.
So,
And then
but
I got pushed out of the army with a
hey,
DUI. So when I got out of the army,
but dude, you know what I mean? Like,
I was in so much debt, and then all of a sudden, I become a financial advisor, and I'm struggling with my own bills, trying to help people,
right?
and it's really eye
How do
opening
I do
seeing.
this? But you came up with a plan.
But I also realize it's down to being in a closet by yourself for 7 days, wanting more in life,
Oh yeah, dude. I
and when
mean,
you have the opportunity
I
to
just
save
was.
50%, you save 50%. It's about
I
maximizing
still live
those
like
opportunities.
the same amount of money that I'm willing to spend as if I'm an E3 or E4. I don't go higher than that. I just chill, and I have a nice apartment. I got guns and crap like that. I'm good, but I'm I just don't take it and buy thousands of dollars worth of car parts or whatever. You know,
I mainly see in our generation
I save up those
vehicles.
purchases.
I see vehicles destroying our generation for the most part.
Yeah,
Seems like
dude.
brand new vehicles are like super sexy for some reason.
Well, so let me tell you that my girlfriend, she's a Navy veteran. I met her and she's doing pretty good. And she was just kind of like she had got her own car, she was paying her own bill, she was doing whatever. And then she moves in with me, and we're kind of sharing some of the finances, which is great. But we keep our stuff separate. She does her thing, I do my thing. And I got to talking to her and about her car. She had a car that now has 100 and something thousand miles on it, and is it's the end of life of the car pretty much soon. Let's be real. And
or a lot of
She had
maintenance.
like 13% interest or something like that. It was some high amount, 18%. I don't know. It was crazy. So she owed just enough money on that car that she could pay like 300, $400 and then take it to Carvana and just get rid of it and be out of the car completely, to just be done, because you just can't afford
Start
to
over.
do that. So we did that. We got rid of this piece of shit.
Good.
Just, you didn't make any equity on that car. I'm sorry, but hey, you know what? Now you can get another car. And she, she's got a car that she drives around, and we don't really drive too much anywhere right now, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
much better. It was
Word.
like 3 or 4% interest at this point. Just insane.
Can I do? I'm gonna do some math on that real fast, just because I'm like, I'm gonna tell you
Oh
something.
my god, it hurts. It's like 30 grand. So the price of the car was $30,000 when she bought the car. It was new when she did get it, and she owned it for 5 years. It was paying 18% interest on that, something like that. Some crazy. Put it at 15% between 13 and 18. I can't remember exactly.
Can I ask like how you grew up? Are your parents teaching you this stuff?
I mean, my parents do well for themselves. My mom is a nurse, and my dad is in the field of education. But when I was about 12, they did split up. So my dad wasn't really around to talk about money.
Okay.
And my mom, I watched her have to struggle with the fact that they had a split, and then she, the house got foreclosed and she had all this debt. So I watched her kind of struggle out of the debt, and now she's doing good. And then me and her went into business together to buy houses and flip houses, and I took on a lot of that stuff too.
Oh man, I'm gonna send you a video. Actually, I'm making note of that. Whole life insurance and real estate are like bread and butter. You just gotta have both of them. But back to you and your mom. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Real estate is great.
I deal with two types of clients primarily.
She was just kind of like, she was trying to make her payments. Every dollar that she had she was spoken for. But what she did first was she said, all right, I have got to just clear off the debt that actually matters right now, which was, I need to be able to use my credit card so I can buy whatever I need to buy in the short term. And then I will get to the other stuff later. And then eventually I think the foreclosure I think they just took the L on that one and walked away from it and had to take the hit on their credit. And eventually, that goes away, but I don't think it actually ever goes away, but it went away enough that she was able to move on. And she was just living as a cash only kind of thing for a while.
Hey man, you're talking to a guy who was,
but she was a nurse, so she had a high income.
Our family home was taken from us when I was 2 years old. Bankrupt.
Yeah.
Heard. Experienced it. I didn't remember it, but apparently it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Sucks, man.
So most people are afraid to go into business with their family. However, I can tell you and your mom are probably closer than you and your dad.
Everything I did with my mom or with anybody in my family, I always had a contract and we signed it with a lawyer.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It was, hey, I'm putting $30,000 up to buy the house, and you're putting $15,000 up to buy the materials to fix the house. I will own the house and pay the taxes on the house. When we sell the house, which we plan to sell the house in the next 1 year, then we're on, and this will be the amount we expect to earn, blah, blah, blah. That's how we did it. And it was just easy breezy, It's not if you're putting up cash, even if you're the little guy, even if I'm putting up 10 and she's putting up 50, like, I'm still going to write this down, because if you die, like, how am I ever going to get my 10 back?
That's why I have life insurance also.
That's not the concern. Yeah, I mean, that's not the biggest concern of my,
that's not the biggest concern, but that is a concern. Yeah. Like, if I'm hanging out with my boys, I'm like, hey man, I've got a great business idea. We're gonna start Microsoft, and then Bill Gates dies in the middle of it. Like, hey man, I think it was worth a lot of money, and we're so in debt right now without him. We're so fucked.
to every, we go to a lawyer. I think it was like $30 to sign each contract. It was not that much money. You can even go to a state notary. You can just get it notarized, and you can just make copies, and you just keep a copy. Like that's all you got to do. That way, you have something that says like, "Hey, Aunt Jenny, who's my favorite aunt, we live together. Blah blah blah. We're in business together. She helped me with this, and I helped her with that, and we both put 20 grand up for this thing, and then she runs off with your 20. Like you have a way to get that 20 back. Because some people's family does do some shit. I know it sucks, but
it's also, and this is another reason why I've learned to very vehemently disagree with Dave Ramsey's incomplete financial plan, because he's telling us to invest in a fund that we don't actually know all the companies that are in it, first off, for decades, and to shut off family members who may have a very, very
does he own the fund?
No, he gets paid so this is so funny. Okay, so I grew up like Jesus Christ, Dave Ramsey. That's how, and then my dad. That's my order of like important people in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get out of the Army. I get a job with Penn Mutual. Penn Mutual's been around for 175 years. Very, just like you, I got a genuine opportunity to make a significant difference in my life. And I'm thinking, I'm like, Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio, here I come. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh yeah, dude. Hard.
And then I also took calculus 1, 2, 3, and 4 in college. I was an engineer.
Wow.
And as I'm doing the math on this whole 401k thing, as I'm looking at real life potential client and some clients, 401ks, and backdating them for 5 to 10 years, I'm starting to figure out that the actual average rate of return
Not
for
making any
401
money, man.
dude, you're just holding up your money for someone else to lose it for you, and hopefully it's there whenever you go to retire.
Yo,
And-
my dad was telling me about his 401k. I think he had contributed something like 100 or 200 or 300. It was in the hundreds over time, and the amount he had earned on it was just like, why did you leave it in there? Like, and then at some point it would go lower, and he was like, I gotta wait, I can't get it out yet. Like,
And
oh, God.
so Dave Ramsey is a Christian, right? And I say a Christian because I don't think a Christian would do what he's doing, because he's either significantly retarded.
A Christian in name alone. Yeah.
And I have a serious problem with that, because I am not perfect. Like, if you want to hear my flaws, I hope you have the rest of the night. Sit down, brother. I got a lot of them. But lying to people to get ahead for my financial gain is not one of them. And what he's doing is setting people up for an incomplete story to invest in these growth mutual funds, buy term life insurance that's super cheap. Buy term life insurance. Wouldn't you know it? He has an advertiser that's ready to. They got the best rates in town. Xander Insurance. Bring them on in. You can call them over here, and they'll give you a great rate for 20 years. And you have extra money?
And he'll get a cut of everything you buy.
If you have extra money, why don't you call one of my pro fuck you in the ass vesters? Pro vesters. They are screened to make sure that they only take care of you. They're not looking out for themselves. They are Dave Ramsey certified. And I signed up for the ProVestor thing as a guy working at Penn Mutual just to see how many people I got called from. It's like 5 different businesses around me that had people, hey man, I'm with Dave Ramsey. You love Jesus? Me too, man. Cool. I'd love to have your money for like 40 years. And, we put it to a Roth IRA. It'll just sit there, and maybe you can touch it when you get older. Yeah. And if it falls in half and you really need it when you're 75, well, you got to go to Walmart and work a little bit, but maybe, hey, it'll go back up, man. It's all about time. And I'm looking at all these numbers, and I had to swallow my pride and say, I think Dave Ramsey is wrong about whole life insurance. And I think that I cannot sell people wealth. I think I can only sell them guarantees, and they have to go outside of what I offer them to make money. And that's kind of like a weird position to be in when you're trying to be that person everyone thinks they go to make money. It's like, I can't make you enough money to buy a yacht. I can give you a nest egg that will be secure.
Yeah, I think that's what people need, man. Right now, especially. I don't think anybody can actually look at you and tell you that they know 10 or 20 years from now how they're going to have money when nobody has a job. The only people that have a job are supposedly essential workers or whatever, and everyone is just accruing, just slowly pushing their debt levels higher
Oh,
and higher. The value of the dollar is about to literally, I can't, I'm amazed in the last couple of months that we haven't actually hit the point where gas is $5 a gallon again. I'm waiting. It's
why is
happening.
that? I'm not saying it wrong. I'm just
It's
curious
just
as
it's
to where you're
unsustainable,
getting
the
that.
amount of money that we have in the circulation. Well, it's just the more you keep printing, it's not good. There's nothing that's backing it up. The economy is being propped up, I think, right now with that market manipulation. But I think we're about to see something similar to the 2008 housing bubble happen, where it's all going to really crash in a way. I can't predict that yet, but I think there's going to be something that crashes where a lot of assets are going to be able to be swooped up by the higher end people who have a lot of money already to just buy it out because they're
So
constantly
that's where
driving
the whole life insurance comes into play.
people away.
That's where the whole life insurance comes into play. Every 10
Yeah.
years, there's 1 to 2 years of opportunity to go sweep. And if you have
I think
part of
that's
your
coming.
money, if you have part of your money for the next 40 years of your life, that's just a diesel train, just gaining traction, gaining money, 4 to 5% every single year, 4 to 5%. Like that adds up really fucking fast. If you have that,
Oh yeah, it would.
and then things go to poop, and be like, hey, that $100,000 house, $25,000 cash, cool. That $500,000 real estate, yeah, 300 in 3 years, yeah, I'll probably sell it for 600, and then put that money back into the life insurance, and it's gonna act like it's never gone. I've met millionaires that have, their wealth is so much that banks actually pay for their life insurance.
To keep them alive. Yeah, because in case.
That's funny you say that. No. So at some point, this is kind of a fun stock fact. Life insurance companies are the number one investor in the U.S. economy because we've been around for nearly two centuries. If a person's worth $5 to $7 million or more, obviously, a bank will take collateral from that person, like some of their stocks in their 401k or some of their real estate assets as collateral, and pay this person's premiums, pay the cost for the life insurance,
Right.
in which this person is earning 4 to 5% tax free. So at the end of the day, the bank is sitting there loaning out money at 3% to the client. Client is paying it to the life insurance company, making 4 to 5%. And because they're worth $5 to $7 million or more, there's collateral in the mix of it. And by the time 10, 15, 20 years go by, they pay the bank back all the premiums for the loan, and they literally have it's an ATM. It's like a tax-free ATM, making hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars a year
Yeah.
for them. And
I mean,
Those
that's the way to do it. I
That's
I
crazy.
agree that those are the ways to make the money. Like, what the one thing I found out was for my real estate, because I got with the real estate more, was um, we actually, the market right now is to the point that buying houses and then trying to sell them for more after you invest your time and money to make them nicer is not as good as it used to be. But
Mm.
what you can do is buy houses that are not the greatest house that you don't really care about, but you can put a little bit in it to get it operational and living in. I mean, living standards are different for everybody. Don't be a shitlord, but try to, make it a little nicer and buy up several properties that you can put renters in. And that's what we had done for a little while. And those houses, it takes a few years, but they will reach maturity soon where everything that they're earning is then profit. Right now, everything they're earning is just paying us back, to a point. So that'll be nice when that gets there. But you got to have money to play in that game. It's very difficult if you were to say just try to buy one house to be a rental. I recommend against it. Just one. You need like five.
What if you started with one
So
with
if
the
you can
goal
come
of
up with a
getting
plan to
five?
try to get five, I think that's definitely a solid plan. So don't just sit there and be like, well, I'll just buy a house to have it and have one renter. Like, no, no. You need to
Oh
figure out
yeah,
how to get five more, six more, 10, whatever. But, not everybody
because
wants to play that game. And then you got to
well,
go
it takes
collect
time.
rent, all that stuff.
It takes time. It takes time to learn. And you know what? Honestly, I think something else you have that I will be honest, I didn't think you did have in boot camp is humility. You have humility.
Oh,
I mean, let's be honest, man. Like
thank you.
that's one of the hardest things to have, and it pays dividends. I feel
You got to
like,
know when you're wrong, man.
or not know something,
Definitely.
because
I'll
I'm
have to.
definitely I'm told when I'm
I'll have
wrong.
to. Yeah, well, here in the next year or so, when I finally start getting real money, I'll have to ask you, where to start putting things the right way and stuff. Because right
Yeah.
now I have my traditional breakdown of I put this money in this savings and I buy this bond and I buy this money market and I buy this and I pay this and I
Okay.
blah 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 blah
You know
blah.
what?
And it
You know
all
what?
goes
Hey,
where it needs to
hey,
go.
watch this. Ready?
But at some
We're gonna do. Hold
point,
on. Time out, Dave. Time out. We're gonna do a live exercise here. Don't tell me the
yeah,
actual amount you put in the money
show me the
market.
magic.
Don't tell me the actual amount you put in the money market. Okay.
Oh, I mean,
If you're
okay,
comfortable with it, you can.
per month.
But per month, how much you put in the money market?
I think it's $830.
Okay. Um. um, and how much you making on
I
that?
do other stuff, but
No,
that's
no.
that's
Hey,
more.
so whenever I sit down about things,
Yeah, yeah,
it's really really difficult for anyone to be like,
yeah. No, I mean,
how much is your money market making you?
I'm logging into my USAA right now. Let me look.
Do you have auto insurance?
Let's see. Thing I do is pretty.
Tell me you have USA auto insurance.
Yes, I do.
Okay, get rid of it. I don't sell car insurance,
Just get rid of it. It is expensive.
bro. I'm 20 for 20 on talking to people, asking them to shop around for the exact same coverage they have with USAA, with Progressive and Allstate, and whatever else is around there. I can't remember all of them, but shop around, and if you don't save 40%, you'll be the first person I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, I probably need to. I'm paying like $130 for three cars right now. Ridiculous.
$130 for 3 cars.
Yeah.
You're a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not paying enough. That's really cheap. But okay. Let's go back to the money
Not paying
market though.
enough. Never had a ticket. Yeah, I'm trying to get my account statement to find my interest rate.
I'm betting if it's anything like the other hundreds I've seen, it's around 2.3 probably.
I actually haven't looked at it in a long time. Come on. All right. Here we go. Almost there.
Okay.
Oh, that's not happy at all. 0.4%. That's terrible.
0.4%. So 0.4%.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just a money market savings account. It's not a savings, not checking, it's a money market specifically.
Yeah, usually that's like should be like a CD kind of rate, right?
You would think that it would be higher. I used to have CDs in at least triple percentages.
Would you say that
3%,
maybe they didn't really
5%.
explain that to you?
I'm sure it's on a disclaimer somewhere. Maybe it's variable as well. I'm not actually sure if it's a variable percentage.
I doubt it. I doubt it. It can't be. I doubt it's variable. Like a money market, that'd be really weird. So
It didn't say. I checked 2 months in a row. It stayed the same.
all right. So I just so happen to have because I'm a
Wait,
nerd.
0.4 is very low.
0.4 is like for a money
Get your
market.
calculator.
I'll be so
It's
pissed off.
nothing.
I'll
Yeah,
be so
it's
pissed off
ridiculous.
at 0.4 money market. You can go buy stuff with a credit
I'm
card.
about to probably move it all.
All right. All right, so back in my day, once I had to swallow my pride and say, you know what, I'm gonna have to sell whole life insurance because I need to show this information to people. And one of the things I did was I'm an engineer, super nerd. I made this example of a money market because for me, there's a wide range of people I come across when it comes to their financial decisions. I'm not trying to control everyone's entire financial plan. All I'm trying to say is 25% of your money that you don't want to lose. Let me show you what I'm going to do with it versus what you're currently doing. So in this example, I have a money market with somebody putting in $8,000 a year. I don't know how much that is a month.
Yeah.
Probably close to 800. But in this example,
Yeah.
the interest rate's 2.2%. I'm not going to trust my iPad to redo the calculation, so we'll keep it at 2.2%. So, anybody who's putting money into a money market, I imagine you want to pull that money out for a reason, like a car, a boat, a vacation, kids' college, something.
Yeah.
And I want
it's
your
just there because I know that I can take it out when I need it.
And so, so I want your criticism on this too. That's cool. And you can give it to me offline if it's like super harsh. That's fine too. Like, don't embarrass me on my live stream. But
You're good.
So I'm kidding. You can embarrass me. So basically, what I did was, okay, we have a 30-year-old guy who's putting in $8,000 a year into his money market, but every 10 years, he's taking out $50,000. Okay, so say that.
It's
So
yes, I get it. It's going up by 30K, yeah, but it's got interest too.
Right, so we're basically going like $8,000 every single year for 10 years, and then we drop every 10 years for that $50,000 purchase.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Which is like actually
Taking out 50 G's. Yeah.
Yeah, $50,000 3 times over the next 30 years.
It's a substantial amount of money
You'd be surprised how many people do this though. Most people that I meet in their like 50s or 60s, like they have a money market account and they've actually treated it just like literally just like this. Like they've literally put money into it, like for like $8,000 a year, taking it out every once, 2 times, maybe 3 times, but they like having that money in there. So by the time this person's,
I mean, one of the main reasons that I have this in this account was because I typically have any other investments I have are always locked behind some sort of time wall, and this money I can immediately get out. So if there's a way I can move this, because I would not keep this in here. I just didn't know that there was anything else, because a guy I worked with before a long time ago was like, I just keep money in the money market that I'm not using, but I need access to it when I need it, or when I reach to a certain point I can invest it in something else, whatever. But the main thing that you're counting and banking on is like your CDs, trying to get some stocks, bonds, whatever.
This isn't going to be your this isn't not going to be your yacht when you're 65 years old. That's not what I'm selling. But what I'm selling is a difference. Okay?
No.
So watch this. This is at 2.2% interest taxed. All right. But then this is the whole life insurance plan. All right. So check out the same data. Top line is the death benefit if you die. Honestly, don't even worry about the death benefit.
Like, well, if you're dead, you don't have any problems. Come on.
it's someone else's issue, right? It's the bottom line that's important.
Yeah, it's over.
So as you see, same thing. Like, 10 years. Then you're like, all right, pull out 50,000. 10 years, pull out 50,000. All right. So after 30 years, with the whole life insurance, you have $250,000 of cash value. So you have $250,000.
Is that after or before you've taken those withdrawals?
That's a great question. I'm going to pause you there because it really depends on what kind of withdrawals you're talking about. But let's say the exact same person does the exact same thing with the exact same money over 30 years. Whole life person has $250K. Money market person at 2.2% interest rate, taxed, has $130,000.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at the person with the. Oh, you're cutting out on me. I should have my. Anyway, long story short,
give it a second.
The whole life insurance cash value.
That's okay. I just didn't move my mouse.
Don't move the mouse. But this is the biggest significant thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that if you have 30 years of putting money into money market, the people I've met have put money into money market for 30 years and then they stop because they're like, hey, you know what? I have $150,000, $125,000 in my money market. I'm 60 years old. I'm just gonna keep that money in the money market. Right? I'm just gonna keep it there.
Right.
Okay, so you're good at curves. So just look at that curve. Pretty flat for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
They're not putting any more money into it. Okay. And at the end of that 30 years, so by this time, they're like 90, they have nearly $200,000.
Yeah.
Same thing. This is the difference between 2.2% taxed and 5% tax-free. Look at that curve.
Nice. Oh, I didn't even know these were tax-free. That's nice.
It's a good way to have money stored aside that you can pull income from that's tax-free during high-tax environments.
Let me ask you this. If you're contributing to this, do you have to pay taxes? Can you contribute to it pre-tax?
No. Absolutely not. Now
so
you're being
paying. So you get your paycheck. You're already
now
taxed,
you're being greedy.
And then you can. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: could you theoretically take no um, like, so I know when you fill out your W-4s and stuff, you can elect to not have taxes removed from your paycheck because you'll just settle up with the government later when you're doing your taxes, right? That's how they work.
Right.
So you could theoretically get all of your money tax-free up front. And then could you pay into these and then take deductions to such a degree that it would actually be even more beneficial?
So you're saying, let's pretend that I owe a substantial amount of money in tax, like $10,000, $15,000 of tax in a year. Would it be beneficial
Yes.
to put that money into here for a year? It would depend on a lot of different circumstances, but I would suggest against that.
Because like my thing is I've always been trying to figure out for the longest time how to not pay taxes.
Okay,
I hate taxes.
So that's
they
where
bug me. I want to live in a state that has no taxes.
That's funny. You should talk to me because I'm actually that's my bread and butter. So hold on. There's two different scenarios you need to look into. One, how to efficiently pay taxes. There's a huge difference between paying taxes and efficiently paying taxes. Huge difference. I can show you where a middle class family making $75,000 a year combined income loses $1 million, maybe $2 million of wealth in their life by getting a government check back every year for more than $1,000.
Right.
So
I don't want any money back. I just want to pay what I owe.
So you're ahead of the game already, right? So
yeah. So like, here's my plan. Like, let me just give you this short and sweet, right, of what I was talking about. So let's just imagine you get $100,000 as your total income, and you don't elect to have taxes removed.
Okay.
No matter what, if you earn $100,000 a year, you're going to be in like a 20% tax bracket probably. So you're going to have to pay the government $20,000 to have that 100K income.
Agreed.
Like that's what they want if you had no deductions and all these things. So if you could find a way where you don't actually pay the government any money up front, you take your 20K and every time you get paid, you're trying to contribute to something to equal that 20K as fast as possible. So that can earn income while you're waiting to pay your taxes. And then when it comes time to pay your taxes, to take as many deductions as possible to actually maybe shrink that 100K that they said you earned to like, well, you actually only earned, 60K or something over the course of the year, according to these deductions, but you saved all this money anyways, and you never paid taxes up front. I'm just trying to figure out, would it be possible? And then when it's time to pay, okay, now I owe 10. I take 10 from that account that I was making money from, and then just pay the government the 10.
Right. Well, here's a kicker though, and
instead of the 20.
I'm not saying yes or no to you on that question because
out.
It is tough to figure out. That's where it actually takes the hours. Remember how you earlier said you saved tens of thousands of dollars, but you may have ended up saving millions of dollars in your life by spending hours with your college plan.
Yes.
Same thing here. So that's where the life insurance game, you have to be, anybody listening to this, if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. Look into it, but make sure the person you're working with is smart, because there's a fee you pay for the money you put into the life insurance on top of, wish I had like a chart here. Trying to figure out the best way to say this.
On top of withdrawal, like a fee to pull out early or something, or pull out.
No, to put extra money into it, you pay a fee. So let's pretend that actually this is probably pretty good to use. So let's pretend like what I told you earlier about these lines. Forget them. Mm-hmm. This blue line is how much you would normally pay for, like, let's say $1 million life insurance policy, whole life insurance policy, right? But you're gonna put in extra money. You're gonna put in more than required, and there's actually a limit.
That tax-free money that I'm not paying right now. Yeah.
And so that tax-free money, I think for Penn Mutual, after the first year. First year is 10%. The more if you put in extra, it's 10%, and then the next year I believe it's 8%. I have to double check that. Actually, don't.
Okay, so like
at all.
if it's $1,000, if it's like a normally $1,000, you can only contribute 10% more, or you can only contribute.
Yeah, so I said that in a really weird way.
More,
So forget that. Forget everything I said. Forget everything I said. So the government came in the 1970s and said, "Hey, you guys are using life insurance like it's chocolate, and you're the Cookie Monster."
Yeah.
So they made a way to where, depending on how young you are, how healthy you are, which is why it's important to get life insurance in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. So for me right now, for every dollar I put into the baseline whole life insurance policy, I can generally put in another $2.50. So for me right now, I'm contributing 5 times over $20,000 a year into whole life insurance. That's my base.
Yeah.
Obviously, I met base.
Yeah, and then you could go higher.
But I could put an additional $60,000 to $80,000 a year, and that money right there, my friend, is where you get into the question that you're having. Okay, so how much money am I going to save by putting this?
Because I mean, like, so I'm just having fun with it. So just so we can be transparent here, because I'm never going to be anybody here to disclose that David made more money after he got out of the Army or whatever. But the average physician's salary is $225,000. That's should be expected. For what field I'm going into, I'm looking at to try to get to about $300,000 per year as a base salary, and then of course I'll have additional earnings that come from like private, for instance, run under an LLC, and that's so private income should be about $300K pre-tax.
How much of that is insurance? Like, just out of curiosity,
So
I actually don't, like malpractice insurance. Is there? Because I hear that there's a lot of money to take. Like, I hear that a lot of your money is taken from malpractice. Is that false?
Depends on what field you're in. So super high malpractice, because apparently everybody sues whatever. But for what I'm going to do, let's see.
Because for anybody listening, I feel like that's probably good information also to have.
Yeah, because I mean, you're going to pay to play. So it typically costs about $60 a month.
For malpractice?
Yeah. $37 to $59 a month. I always go at the highest point. Why not $60?
Like, oh man, I don't know, man. I'm a little shaky today. Yeah. $60 a month? You gotta be kidding me, man. It makes me nervous. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get worked on anymore. That makes me nervous, man. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's a non-factor. It's a non-factor. Okay. So you're making $300K a year, plus your bonuses.
Pretty much.
I cut you off, so I'll let you continue.
Yeah, if I decide, because I will be opening a private practice. Yeah, so I'll work for a hospital or a clinic or the VA or whatever I'm doing. I'll probably make just around $300K, roughly. After I get, of course, you'll start at like 225, 240, and then you'll get up. Dude, I'm stoked, man. I can't believe it.
I'm so happy for you.
It's a blessing, man.
Like, you're such a success story.
You know, if you're making 300, that's pre-tax. If you're making 300 pre-tax, post-tax, you're at the highest. Like, you're at one of the higher tax brackets. I think it's like 30K or 30%. So you're gonna lose 100K like right after that, no matter what you do.
That's fair.
You know,
unless you have real estate.
But you know, yeah. So the thing that you could do is, I've been just looking at. So if I earn 300 and I don't take the money out tax-wise initially right away, I just say, hey, you're gonna give me this money, and then every single time I get paid, I do the back hand calculation myself and say, well, my paycheck would have actually been deducted, you know, $4,000 for this paycheck. So instead of just letting the government have that right now, I'll take my $4,000 and try to figure out how to make some money with that $4,000. But then at the end of the year, the tax man's going to get his money, because I don't want to go to jail, right?
Hey, we want to pay our part. So, like, we started a country, we want to pay our part. We don't have any problem with that.
Trying to figure that out.
Hey, I really gotta show you this because I made this video.
You know,
It's like one of my first YouTube videos, and
every
I hope you
country
get a
in
kick out
love
of
with
it.
us. So
Fair
yeah,
enough.
sure.
Um,
I just wish the roads were smooth. Fix the roads, and I'll pay taxes happily.
okay.
Social Security Administration, government, and
Second video.
receive
Sorry.
the Social Security. Wait, so you don't? Or
Second video.
timing your taxes and the 1.5 million hidden from the public. Yeah, timing your taxes
Yeah,
and the 1.5 million hidden from the public.
I literally go
Yeah.
into exactly what you just said, and this is I made this. Oh, hold on, this is pretty cool. I was pretty proud of
Okay.
this. February 9th, 2019. Oh shit, that's actually. Damn near
Oh yeah,
2
you're on there.
So, it's going to my AirPod, but I basically
That's
go
awesome.
in. I break it down like, obviously there's all these numbers in the background, showing how
Yeah.
most people over time, over 50 years, by getting the average back of $3,500 a year, lose $1.5 million.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
look how big
But
my
you're not
tax
being
return
ran
is. I'm like,
at all.
hey man, that's great. I'm so happy that you got a huge tax return. Now, can I get a loan for like $4,000 or $5,000, 0% interest from you also? Because I would definitely enjoy that right now.
Right.
I'd take that every day. So, I'm not sure if
Well, anyways.
whole life insurance is a great way to use that, but
Maybe not
same-
for that, but what I could do is maybe find some other way that I could earn something on it, and then just I made some money, and then I'll pay the
time out,
government, right?
time out. Well,
I mean, there's got to be.
I'm thinking here, David. Hold on, like I'm pretty smart. Give me a second here.
You can't put it in stocks because it's too risky to spend your
Is
tax
it?
money on stocks.
Hey, time out.
Just
I have an
can't.
answer.
No.
So with whole life insurance, I'll pull up my policy for you. I'll show you my policy. You get dividends, right?
Yeah, which is great.
It's really great, actually. Especially with Penn Mutual, which is another reason why I'm still with this company. Besides my awesome bosses. Maybe they're listening, maybe they're not. I'll try to put that in there. Yeah, actually pretty cool though. So they have this thing where you get dividends each year. You can take it as either cash, like out of the policy, like hey, thanks for my dividends, or you can put it back in the policy, which is the smart thing to do for the first 10 years, depending on how the thing is structured. But as you see, or not, because my computer froze. Perfect timing.
Yeah. There you go. See it now.
So this is the trying to figure out which, yeah. So this is the current dividend scale as of this year. So on the right, I guess your left.
Yeah. Them touch screens, they'll get you, bro.
Especially when trying to turn this mammer jammer around. There we go. Basic ledger. After that is the one I want. Supplemental. There you go. So my finger is going to go there. Wait, a dividend. So you can just take this money out as you wish, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're making $600-700. Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously the dividend continues to grow to where, you know, hopefully older you get, you make a lot more money and you're able to pay possibly, I mean, we have to look at the numbers on it, but I would be surprised if we didn't figure out just a new way to pay your taxes if you paid your taxes through the dividends at the end of the year of your life insurance policy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not going to happen in the first year of doing this, but there's got to
Oh
be.
yeah, okay, yeah. The whole life insurance, you're not getting the whole life insurance unless you have a 10-year plan at least. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
no,
one
for
of those
sure.
things.
But I'm just sitting here going, like, instead of letting the government have a 0% loan, how do I take it and earn something on it? Where when it's time for me to pay them, I'll hand them the money and move on with my life and whatever. But maybe the entire time it was earning interest, and you're like, wow, that 30 grand I was going to give the government, I made 6 grand on it this year, so I gave the government back their 30. I kept my six.
But
And I'm going to roll that over and do it again and again and again.
but
And
but
again.
David, 6 grand isn't that much. I'm kidding. Watch this.
I'm just saying on smaller
No.
numbers.
No. I love it. Watch this. So everyone who's listening right now is probably like, yeah, okay. So what? Let's say you made $2,000 a year extra
Yeah.
by some kind of crazy thing that we're talking about right now over a period of 40 years.
Yeah.
I would say a non-guaranteed.
Well, let me tell you what, man. If you're VA disabled at like 50%, you're making, I don't know, $1,200 a month. And then if you're on a GI Bill, you're also getting like, I don't know, $1,500 a month off that. So you're almost clearing 3 grand a month. That's $36,000 a year. And that's not even working.
Which I know
It's
people
crazy.
who work don't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
The
this
40-hour
is,
work week, man. Try to get there.
dude, I don't ever want to get there, honestly.
What is it? Is it somebody that wrote a book? I think it was like the 4-hour work week, something like that. Good book.
So saving $2,000 a year by doing some kind of crazy thing that we're talking about. So every $2,000 a year that you and I figure out how to help each other out, right? At the end of 40 years, is
Right.
that much money?
Oh yeah, 390, 400.
That's a Ferrari, dude. That's a Ferrari with all the goodies.
Just on. Don't buy the Ferrari. The oil changes are so expensive.
Never really thought about it, but I would buy a yacht.
Don't do it. Just get a
Go buy a yacht?
Porsche. Just get a Porsche or a Mercedes if you gotta have it.
Tesla. Oh, bro, I'm getting a Tesla.
I would get a yacht.
A yacht?
Just
Oh,
rent.
no.
Just rent those things. Rent the yacht. Don't buy the yacht. Rent it.
David, don't shit on my dreams, okay? I literally have my journal right next to me since I was 14 years old about how much I want a yacht.
If you get a yacht, I would like to come and drink
Oh,
some
now
champagne.
you're okay with yachts. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, now he's okay with them.
I think you should just rent the yacht. It's better.
I want to genuinely like travel across the world in a yacht. Like I want to have
Yeah. Oh,
adventures.
port.
Oh man, I'm talking like going to places where, I hear pilots go to like small airports where there's like great hamburgers. Like I want to have a yacht and go to the ports where there's like that kind of stuff. Where a lot of people don't know about it. There's kind of like a community around.
I think
it.
you could do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm deeply afraid of the dark, deep ocean. So
I'm so sickly afraid of it.
Too much, man.
Have you seen that new video about the huge shark?
Yeah. Anytime I've ever. No, I don't want to, man. Fuck that.
Bro,
Wow.
they just discovered over a 50-foot shark on a deep webcam. I'm not
Man,
exaggerating.
anytime I have ever been out in the water where it's like where I don't touch the ground and like I can't see around me, I start to think like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm just treading water
That one
till I
huge
die.
that one huge fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm in like in the Caribbean where I can see everything, I'll go swim around and go down and all that. It's fine. I just want to see my death coming, of the fucking shark.
To be fair,
don't wanna get
I signed up
jumped
I signed up to defuse bombs.
Yeah, I mean, you mess up, it's not your problem anymore. So,
Hey, initial success or total failure.
right, and then you won't feel it. It's over.
That's it. I was kind of thinking of it. I was like, you know what? I mean, if something happens, it's gonna be really painful if I live, but
Yeah.
Worst comes to
Unless
worst, like,
unless the guy's an asshole and he builds a specifically smaller size charge in the bomb just to maim. You know.
and so that's where we get into the whole thing, you know, where I'm like, okay, this country is peppered with EOD techs right now. Soggy,
Veterans
old,
everywhere.
crusty veterans. And I don't think, I'm going to get a little political here. As an EOD tech, like, we like to have a good time. We like to socialize.
Yeah.
We kind of give zero fucks.
Me too, man.
And at the same time, our mission in life is to preserve life and property. So when you start pissing people off like me, I don't know.
It could get bad, man. It could get bad.
I don't think it's going to come to that, but I'm worried.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened. Yeah.
Well, it did happen, David.
I mean,
The
I
insurrection.
genuinely. Well, I know, but I mean, like, I'm surprised that people have not rounded certain people up and just summarily executed people outside. Yeah, at this point.
I mean, we got to be honest with ourselves. Like, we have some veterans. I know some veterans who are very upset right now. Who are, like I told you earlier, I have over 150 messages.
They should be.
150 messages of
Keep
veterans.
the powder
who are-
dry, boys.
Well, hold on. I'm not trying to. My job when they message me is to calm them down and let them know that there's a way
Yeah.
that we can do this peacefully. Like, I plan on running for Senate here in the next 3 years for Tennessee, for the U.S.
That'd be cool, man.
Congress. I have a unique way I'm going to go about it. I think that would be genuine, and if I lose, the worst thing that's going to come about that is I make a lot of friends across Tennessee.
Nice. What are you gonna party up, or are you gonna just go independent?
No, they can join my party. They can be part of the Bobby party. They can kiss my ass with their party.
Bobby party.
Yeah, this is a Bobby party.
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise you're gonna have to bend to the will of whatever they want you to do.
Man, I've been bent over so many times in my life. I don't know if my back can handle it anymore, man. To be honest with you. I'm over here like,
You should just start your own party, man.
I say no.
It's pretty hard.
Hold on. I say no initially, but I did buy the AmericanPatriotParty.us website last year.
Oh, there you go. And doesn't Donald Trump want to be the Patriot Party?
Well, I'm hoping to get a phone call from him pretty soon because that website's worth a few grand right now. It keeps going up in value every day, so that's my stock.
You need to, do not sell 6 figures. And a free room whenever you want it at the Mar-a-Lago.
Bro, you think that's my wish list? That's a billionaire.
Might as well put it on there. It's a free place to stay. Fuck it.
I know. I'm saying this guy's a billionaire. My wish list is for $1 billion. Like,
oh, you're gonna get $1 billion from the website? Man,
yeah,
that's tough.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. It maybe a couple million. I don't think $1 billion. Not for the website.
Well, I don't know how much is. So this is where I would turn it politically on him. But God, Trump offered me a few million for this website. But I feel like America's worth more than just a few million.
Dude, he might just straight up turn into the Blue Falcon Party and screw you. Like, it would be terrible.
I own the podcast.
I know, but he would own the website.
Yeah, I also have the website. I have over 40 websites I own. There you go. But yeah, no, you're right. At that point, I think Donald and I would have a beer and we go golfing together, and there would be no money exchanged, and we would just be partners. I'm actually really
you tell him,
impressed.
like, all right, if you want to talk business, I'm doing it face to face. I'm not taking a phone call.
Honestly, for me to say I want $1 billion from Trump, it's not the money I'm after. It's the relationship that I'm after. There's no money that can be, to me, with someone that you believe is going to be significantly important in your life and what's important to you, there's no monetary value you can put on that.
Yeah. Do you think he's done? Do you think he's out? I mean, he got acquitted. Do you think he's going to?
Well, according to all the QAnon people who are talking to me right now, he's going to become president March 4th. So.
Oh, is that what's happening?
I'm not sure if he knows it.
When is it?
But
how are we gonna have that happen again,
bro? I don't know if you want me to tell you. It's like,
I imagine it involves some sort of coup. We'll see.
I don't even know what it involves with anymore. I am so concerned when I see my friends on the left saying Trump incited an insurrection. And I'm thinking,
yeah.
Have you all looked at all the facts?
Did he? Did he really?
Did he really?
I just.
Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Well, hold on. Like, I'm asking them. Like, can we just talk about it? Like, let's talk about it. And they're like, you have a question about it?
Believe it or don't.
Oh my gosh, you must be a QAnon believer. And so I'm like, okay, well maybe I am. So I go over here. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? And they're like, hey man, so Trump's gonna be president in like 3 weeks. And I'm like, holy not without okay. Not
probably not.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, is anybody left? Out of the two groups that are forming right now, is there anybody left willing to like have a discussion and like move forward in a progressive way? Because I'm feeling like I am the last guy, and the music's stopping, and there's 3 chairs, and there's a Caitlyn Jenner, Rudy Giuliani, and Chris Christie, and I'm like, I'm not sure where I can sit.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm fucked either way.
Yeah.
Can't take a woman's chair, and Chris Christie is gonna eat the chair. So anyway.
Well, I just don't know. I think it's all very polarizing for sure, but I do take number one issue with anybody that is trying to impose any sort of like legislation about gun control when it comes to market, control of the way money moves and restrictions. I think that those are just not good for America. And then you have supposed legislation going through about like being able to search your place without warrants, all these things. Just like, come on, man, what are we doing? Why are we focusing on this shit right now? We have an entire country of infrastructure that needs to get built, and electrical and everything. Every bridge in the United States is apparently like not up to code. Like, it's just ridiculous.
You've heard that too. You must be driving across those Louisiana bridges.
Dude, it's just insane. It just blows my mind. Like, why are we over this stuff right now? And then they say like, well, the guns, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't buy it. And I'm not gonna sell mine. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'll register it. Bend over.
No.
I'll show you. I'll sign it as soon as you bend over.
The day they decide to do that is the day I buy a 3D printer.
Well, that's not going to help though.
You just start.
I'm actually just super proud of this. So I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn here. Well, it's actually not my horn. Enhance. Okay. So there's one state that has anti-red flag laws.
Oklahoma, baby.
Guess who helped enact that?
I know, dude. Texas is supposed to come on soon.
My brother was instrumental.
It's Oklahoma. Houston lives out there.
Hold on. My brother was instrumental in enacting one of the first anti-red flag laws in America. That's one of the reasons why. Yeah, so he's a state representative. I know
it's just Oklahoma
sucks. Oh, don't go to Oklahoma. Oklahoma sucks.
Those states,
I hate
think
it.
of.
No, no, I love people,
Yeah.
but I hope my brother changes that state for the better. It's like a bunch of retards got together and said, "Hey, how can we make this worse?" And they're like, "I don't know, man.
I agree.
Let's strip the land, let's take all the oil out of it, and leave nothing here for the people who actually live here." Everybody cool with that? Well, yeah. You know what? Let's make a cycle out of this. Every 10 years, we'll get people wealthy, and then we'll just like devastate them and like leave the economy bankrupt.
Yeah.
Everybody cool with that? Yeah. Well, how about we have tolls too on the highways? How long? Forever. Fucking
Oh, there's
forever.
toll roads.
And I literally look back at my time in Oklahoma, and Tennessee is just like Oklahoma without, I feel, some things gone wrong. And I hope my brother's leading the way.
I like
in the
Tennessee
nation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee's, first off.
Yeah, I had a buddy that lived in Murfreesboro.
It's Murfreesboro to you, son. Murfreesboro.
Anyways, nice place. It's a good spot.
Yeah, I can't really pronounce it unless you're from there. Try saying Sevierville. That's a motherfucker.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right down the road from.
No, I just think that it's going to get crazy eventually. You know, they're going to start making laws just to get more money out of people. Yeah, they're just going to pass laws to get more money out of people, make you register guns, pay stamps, get taxes, blah, blah, blah.
And to me, there's not some kind of evil. Well, there is evil in the world. Don't get me wrong on that. But for the most part, it's not a bunch of evil people. There's not this many evil people in the world. There are evil people in the world. Unfortunately, there's more stupid people in the world.
Yeah, I think the average American has like a 6th grade reading level. So that's 50% of people or less.
Do you remember basic training?
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff, man.
Do you remember people's ability to pass the handwritten tests? Or heaven forbid,
Yeah,
to sign
that was
onto
a
a computer.
struggle for some.
There's a lot of people.
That was fun.
I mean,
Yes.
like, I'm 25 years old, out of college, and I'm looking at these kids, and I'm thinking, hey, man, you're going to want to know how to type, bro. And I didn't look down on them for it because they
never
obviously
did
never encountered that, right?
Yeah, you're just amazed. Like, what?
Like, I grew up on a farm. How did you not have a computer? Like, I grew up on a farm in Oklahoma. How did you not have a computer? So,
Dude, I see it every day. I have patients that come in and just, you know, I can't explain stuff enough to be able to even get it through. And I just have to write it out and hope for the best.
damn, dude.
Schedule frequent appointments.
And that's not where we want
That's
to be,
the other
right?
problem is there's just not enough doctors, man.
No way?
No.
Really?
No, I mean, yeah, there's not even enough doctors for everybody to see one when they want to. People have like 6-month waiting lists. Crazy.
What?
Yeah, and I mean the standards to be one aren't going to go down, and there's not a lot of people that are
Better not.
you know, American citizens that are going to make the cut. Yeah. So I mean, you got people that you got to bring from overseas and foreign and stuff to try to get them to
No,
get,
not
be
the
doctors.
foreigners.
And then there's been all
No,
this.
nope, not the foreigners.
Well,
Not in my
I mean,
body. I'm kidding, David.
I think that's going to change. You know, Biden's going to
my primary doctor is from India.
I don't really care if you're. Yeah, I think if you're here to work or whatever, that's great. But I just hope that you try to at least look at America and go, okay, so like, how do I be American while I'm here? You know, something.
That my doctor, actually, he and I had a huge argument our first meeting, I guess our appointment, because I said I cannot understand a word that's coming out of your mouth, and it's very difficult for me to come here in the VA system
And talk
after being passed down from 4 or 5 different doctors, and I'm at this new facility now, and I can't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth. And he said, "Well, to back up, like this has been like a 15 or 20 minute conversation about my health," and I'm like, "I can't understand you, dude."
Yeah.
And I'm just like frustrated. He said, "I'm sorry.
He's like, I don't know.
I suck at English. Will you please work with me? Because I'm trying to help you." And he looked at me sincerely and said that. And I said, "I'm sorry. I'm stressed out like a motherfucker right now." He said, "I know. That's why I'm trying to be here to help you. So will you work with me?" And we're best friends now, dude. And
There you go.
it's kind of humility on my part too. As a veteran, somebody from another country, I don't know very many veterans who go to the VA consistently and have issues within the VA system,
Yeah.
and then see a doctor like, "Hey, man, what's up with the Lakers?" We walk in there pissed off.
So good to see you. Yeah. I have a meeting in March to like reevaluate other crap. It's just like another trip to the VA in 2 more weeks, man.
So I feel like I had to look at the fact that he was giving me the benefit of the doubt that I'd walk in that room in a positive attitude, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And then he was probably nerve-wracked that I'm expressive.
Oh, wow.
Like, "I can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth right now, man." Chris Tucker there.
Yeah.
But
I don't know,
honestly,
man. You gotta. We see a lot, so poker face is up there.
okay, fair enough. My point of the story is that the people who are coming here on the doctor scholarship, I hope that we maybe look into getting more doctors from across the world, based on my experiences within the VA, because
I think
they're happy. From what I see, like he owes me nothing. He could have been an asshole, like the past 5 doctors that screwed me over to get me to where I was at with him.
Right.
But he was genuinely like, "Hey, man, I've been through some shit too. Sit down, let me tell you about it. I'm from India. You want to talk about struggle?" And I'm like, "Okay,
Dude,
my
talk
bad."
about it. I tell you what, though, I do see the doctors doing what you're talking about, just like trying to pass a patient off, or even just like, they go in there and they don't like them already. And I'm like, I try to step back and go like, all right, I might not like this guy because he's a grungy asshole and he's addicted to opiates or whatever the fuck, but he's still a person, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that like this guy doesn't like die, like, or have something bad happen to him or whatever. And I'm going to try my best. Whether they want to listen to me or not, that's fine. But it does make it tough because you got people that are yelling at you because, you're trying to make the shot call on whatever for them, but they don't understand it and you can't explain it. I don't have time. I have 10 minutes to see you and then I got to go, So, but some doctors, they've just gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, whatever, man, just get rid of this patient or try to get him discharged or whatever, write something up that, don't give them the full treatment.
Within the VA system, I mean, it's easy to do that. I mean, I have actually tweeted my U.S. congressman at the VA saying, "Hey, I haven't had my medication in over a month.
Yeah.
And I'm at my second VA facility, and they won't even see me right now." And this Tim Burchett, if you're watching this, I doubt you are, but hopefully you're too busy to watch this. But Tim Burchett on Twitter, he reached out to me and said, "Call my office," and called his office, and he took care of it for me. And it's very rare to have a congressman actually make moves for you.
Yeah, do something. Feels like it. Yeah.
At the end of the day, he didn't do anything for me. Like, I took care of it. But the opposite side of that is,
right,
I felt like someone above me who could change something was looking out for me. And so it's like that empowerment feeling. I think we need more of that.
It's the small things, that matter to people, man. Just being heard, listened to, that's about, 99% of the battle.
Especially in moments of distress.
Going, yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah. and not just like, well, I'm going to do this. I don't care what you think, or I have nothing to help you with. Bye.
Bro, you can ask my girlfriend. Like, hopefully you meet Shelly. But I literally went from we got in April 2018 up until President Trump signed the executive order to where I could go outside the VA system to get my medication.
Yes.
And I'm not exaggerating. 4 to 6 hours a week, usually in a 1 to 2 day period. You can't have a 40-hour job when 4 to 8 hours of your week is gone, your work week is gone, specifically at the VA hospital, every single week for 2 years.
Waiting.
That's not sustainable, right? Mentally, or I would not expect an employer to have me be like, hey man, I've been trying to get an appointment and couldn't find out they can see me tomorrow, maybe. So I'm not gonna be here for work.
Yeah.
I know you're depending on me to make money for the company and for my income and for everyone else here, but I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. And hopefully it turns out to where I don't have to go back the next day. So
But it might.
I'm staying hopeful. So that literally wore on me to where once, about every month or two, like I would snap, and I would just walk through the VA hospital like, someone fucking see me, or I'm gonna see every motherfucker in here. Like, this is it. I'm done with you motherfuckers. And then Trump said you can go off VA hospital to see a physician for your medications and for your own specific care. And come to find out, bro, I hadn't had any issues since.
Isn't it magic, when the bureaucracy finally does something?
Yeah. So how do we convince people that maybe socialized medicine is not the best idea? I'm sorry. I assume that you thought that too. I think that.
I absolutely think it's a horrible idea. Pretty much everybody that I've talked to seems to think in medicine. I hear more people wanting it than not, and trying to argue that it's still going to be like profitable and money, whatever. I just don't buy it. That's just the profit side. I mean, you got to make money to eat, right? So if you go to socialized healthcare, there's no incentive for anybody to need good healthcare or be fast or open more businesses or provide more care or do hard cases. If you're going to take three times the amount of time, what do I really want to do? So it's going to be a nightmare, man.
Well, my question is,
if they do it.
And everyone hold with me here, especially if you're white. Gonna want to brace for this one. I was taught about the Tuskegee experiment in 7th or 8th grade, I think. I'm sure you're familiar with that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it kind of clicked with me today.
Covered it greatly.
So I see a bunch of friends who are on the liberal side of things, and since this is Black History Month, they feel it's necessary to make sure they say how terrible Black people were treated at some point in time every single day, instead of what I would prefer, what I think would be more healthy, is to acknowledge the accomplishments, because surely once you hear about something terrible once, you don't forget it. But besides that point, I saw a gentleman talk about the Tuskegee experiment and how terrible the government treated the Black community and how doctors are involved on it. And I kind of leaned in and said, "And you guys still want socialized medicine?"
Yeah.
Who do you think was in charge of that?
It's free, right?
That was free, bro. That was the offer.
Yeah.
And it scared me also because the same people who were complaining
It's dark.
and who fear and who feel the pain of all that past experiences are almost asking for the same exact experiment on them. I'm like, how about you don't go towards the bomb? How about we go over here towards the not bomb? Because that shit blew up. You guys didn't hear it?
Yeah. But I've often had the great conspiracy that pretty much all veterans themselves are one large Tuskegee experiment waiting for us to finally find out what's going on.
We signed up for it, though. Well, I did. I knew as soon as I signed the paper.
You did, but there was a lot of there's a lot of programming that goes into the making of a soldier, and you don't get a lot of deprogramming when you leave.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm gonna disagree with that in the fact that I don't completely understand why you are successful, or why Cody Watkins is successful, or why Bryson Lipscomb is successful, or why I'm trying to be successful. Because I think all four of us could actually sit in a room together and drink a handle of Crown, talking about how terrible our experiences were in the military, and somehow,
right, of course,
somehow our expectations in the military went so terribly wrong that our next chapter in life, we were like, hey man, I got a lot of room to make up here. Like, this is balls to the wall. And I see people who were literally given life on a pedestal of promotions, and they get out and they're like, oh, it's awful out here. I mean, it's just like the worst thing ever. I mean, every time I turn around, some guy's hitting me with his dick in my face. It's terrible, apparently.
Right.
I'm like, you got out and you have a contracted job for $100,000 a year. I got out in debt, not knowing if I was going to go to college, be homeless, or have a job where I got a job at. And I literally lived with family members because I couldn't afford my own place. So don't talk to me about how hard it is. So when you say like the deprogramming, I think there has to be another approach to that, and I'm not sure how to do it. But I feel like you figured it out, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, I mean, but at the same way that you talk about, I mean, if I take 100 people and subject them to something, and then I just cast them out, invariably one will survive, right? 10 might even survive, but the other 90, they're just invisible.
Okay, that's a doctor approach.
So I mean, at some point, not to say that not to say that Cody and me and you are the survivors of the group or whatever, but it just happens to be that through the luck of the location that you chose and the people that you happened to meet along the way and the opportunities that showed up, that was in your favor, and they got out, and maybe they stuck around Colleen, or they still carried on with coping mechanisms that weren't effective, and just falling into all sorts of vices. I mean, you can have everything from addiction and whatever, and that's just one section of it, to truly having nobody. I mean, some of these kids that joined, they had no family, they have nobody to call when they're out, right? It's over. Like, that's what they got. So I mean, circumstances do make up a large amount of it. But I think
sorry, we're both so into this right now. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things though is survive, and you're just like, I'm fighting to survive, which actually.
You cut out. Can you repeat that?
Oh, saying once you've developed that drive in you to survive, whether it's surviving a training, or surviving a deployment, or surviving,
I had that before the army.
Debt, or whatever it is. you're just gonna. I did too, because I did live alone and was 16 and just dipped out and had all that. But some kids
Well,
when they showed up to the military, man, they just came from a family home.
hold on.
You know,
That's not to be
had all
negated.
of- Yeah.
All right, that's not to be negated. So maybe we need to get Cody and Bryson on the phone too. Except not tonight, obviously. But I'm pretty sure Cody had a rough childhood. I mean, he's from Houston.
Yeah, but he probably learned to fight.
Well, I mean, I could take him out. I could take him out. But yeah, I mean, he could fight. Whatever. I mean, he's not behind me, is he? Or anything? But yeah, Cody obviously grew up rough.
He might be.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you don't know until you're asleep. That's the Cody move. For me, one of the reasons why I love my interactions on social media and why I'm okay with the criticism, probably have over 15, 20 kids in the past 3 years that I've talked to. I say kids, over 18, that have gone on to the military.
Yeah.
And a few of them like really stand out to me. Like a few of them, one kid in particular, I'll tell you, his Instagram username is Mr. Casanova. I mean, that's just hilarious to me. He's like 21, 22.
That's nice.
I mean, I wasn't that slick, and I sure as heck didn't have the balls to say my username is Mr. Casanova. Like, hey, what's your Instagram? Mr. Casanova. Like, I would never imagine.
No. Mr. Casanova, baby.
But this guy, I can tell that he is trying to. That's my dog running. I was like, I think Cody's behind me. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Like, gotcha. Hey, Bobby. I can tell Mr. Casanova is trying to prove himself. And every now and then, like 9, 10 o'clock at night, I can tell he has a question when he sends me a message that, hey, man, what do you think about this? Like when I get to basic or when I get to the Army, like what should I be thinking about? Is there something I should be looking for? What kind of influences should I be, reaching out for? What are some of the things that you made a mistake on that I should not make a mistake on? Like those kind of questions are so valuable when I hear them fed to me. I'm like, man, I wish I had the ability to connect with every kid who's asking this at 9 o'clock at night before they go to basic training. So I think it's kind of our responsibility in some way, obviously.
Oh yeah. I mean, just to be able to have that experience. Yeah.
We have gone through some weird stuff in the Army. And so whenever I see a kid full of hope that he's going to be Green Beret, I see myself.
No, probably not.
Hey, man, I hate to cut to you, but if you don't deploy, you're really going to have to face yourself.
Yeah. Definitely.
To me, that was the hardest thing, is not deploying. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, you just have all this useless time and training invested in something that you never get to use.
It's more than that. You know that.
Yeah. We can't say it on the internet. They get upset.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah. They get upset. For me, it's for some reason I was convinced that I was going to go overseas and die for someone else to live.
Right? Or you were going to roll the dice and you were going to figure out if, the gods had chosen you.
And I was going to get a bronze, star or a Medal of Honor. One of two ways.
Yeah, man.
I was going to walk out of that situation either a hero or not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
And I honestly
got
to
infantry,
admit,
baby.
Well, I'm going to suggest not to go infantry. I'm going to suggest EOD. But I honestly think that was selfish.
I suggest Air Force. Anybody that asks me, everybody that asks me what I'm like, you should go to the Air Force. That's the one.
Really?
They get more money. Better life. You get some school done while you're there. You get some college credits. Enjoy.
I don't know, man. I kind of want some other people to go through the suck that I've been through. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
I have always thought though how fun it would be if I could do it over again though, and just go straight Marine infantry and just really get to have fun. But
I think I would have tried Navy. I think I would have tried Navy EOD. I think I would have tried that. Not sure if I would have made it, to be honest with you.
That'd be fun.
I mean, everything that I do except hang out with Navy SEALs and, gosh, Baxter. Anyway, there's literally a Navy commercial where Navy EOD guys are like opening a hatch on a submarine and swimming out.
What?
Like, yeah.
All right.
You haven't seen that? Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, I probably know one of those guys.
I'll have to look it up.
Probably went to school with one of those guys.
It's pretty cool. Man.
Yeah. They always had the long hair in EOD school. They're like, hey man, how's it going? They're like, nothing, just hanging out in my really tight boxers, my huge biceps and my long hair. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the Army. You guys see any food around here? Because I'm really hungry. And they don't feed us much over here.
That's true. That is true, man. I think, into somebody once that, one of the big things that you come away with from the military, how I explain theory is that you lose the sense of like, I guess, ownership or belonging or like beholden to like just items, right? Your clothing no longer actually matters. Everything becomes just a utensil of use. Like, oh, I just need this right now because I'm going to use it, and then it's done, right? It's over. So you actually like almost in your mind, everything has like no value essentially, because you could just get another one, or you'll just find one, or you'll just get one, or you'll just take one, or whatever. So when you have that, you learn just exactly how little it takes to just get by. Like I just need gas in the truck, and I just need the truck to run, and
A to B.
I need to shower once in a while, and that's about it.
Do I need soap?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can live on so
use a
little,
hand soap. I go to the free restroom and get that
probably not.
soap. I've gotten the pump soap before for a shower.
There you go. It'll work.
Don't judge me.
Yep.
It wasn't yesterday.
I've done it. It's good. It's one of the best cleans. Yeah, it's good clean.
You just pump and soap. Pump and soap.
The soap has other uses too. It's very slippery. Yeah.
Okay, I do got to bring this up.
But it was
I know you didn't experience very many homosexuals in the unit that we were in together for boot camp.
Nope.
Besides you and me.
Not that we knew of, right? Because everybody was probably, I was the biggest flamer there. So,
Bro, I totally thought you liked guys. I had a huge crush on you. I was like, surely he'll turn to me one day. I was convinced. No. But I do want to tell you the story of Delta 150, which was next door to us, right? And I'm not sure if you remember my whole story. Like, I got there in January.
Yeah, I remember those boys. Yeah, no, they were. Didn't they? They were still in the trailers, right? Yeah.
Right next door to us, right? Because that's the trailers I lived in.
Yeah.
For like 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And then you guys came in. I'm like, oh man, I have to restart. And they're like, yeah, you're restarting with these guys. I'm like, they just got here. I don't want what? They're like, Red Week, bitch. I'm like, oh my god, really? So,
Again.
Oh, it was so much fun. But the funny thing to me is I really I want to connect with some of these people who go through infantry training right now, because I know that in my first unit, I got there and there were two guys who were suspect, but one guy who was suspect, but one guy who was extremely proud of being gay. Like, he was so gay, he was like, tell me I'm not the coolest gay guy you've ever met.
Just tell you.
And I'm like, hey man, I don't know if you're the coolest gay guy I've ever met or not, to be honest with you. I'm Bobby. What's your name? I know we're doing push-ups right now, but this is a little awkward. And so proud, so entirely proud of it. And I understand why he was, though. I really do. Because he didn't have anybody else there like him. You know, it's kind of ballsy of him to be like that.
Hey, but he's one of us. One of us. One of us.
Exactly. Until Dave's like, oh shit. And so this is where the line is drawn. And this is where the question of females and dudes who like dudes being in one place together kind of come into question. I don't have the answer. I'm just saying there's a question. But he was very
so mixing up the infantry, huh?
Well, I'm saying, like, this guy was very
females
adamant.
In the infantry and...
What, females are in infantry now. You know that, right?
Yeah, they have separate platoons, right?
I don't know. Does it really matter?
I think it's still totally segregated. Like, they're still infantry, but they're just all girls in one group.
That's great. You know, it's like war. It's like war. Like, hey, I need.
Yeah,
you guys
I'm not 100% on that, but I do believe there's still segregated infantry groups. So, like, you can be a female infantryman, but you're just a woman in a bunch of women with everybody else. But they may have integrated them now. I'm not sure.
And I don't know either. And that's why I would love to have the conversation to probably have humility and learn something myself. But I know from my experience, this guy got really horny several times.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm not going to go into
yourself,
it.
Man.
Oh, no, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But he was very adamant about... my dog drinking water. I was like, what in the world? He was very adamant about having a presence when everyone was peeing at the urinal. Like when we had like 5 minutes for 40 dudes to piss.
Oh, creepy.
Like he would just stand there.
Yeah.
With his dick in his hand.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care about it because I had other things to worry about.
I mean, that's behavior that's kind of creepy, right?
And so,
I mean, there's a difference between just because like your orientation is one way and then your behavior is another. Like you can be whatever you want, but your behavior needs to reflect, honor and just, don't bring discredit, shit like that.
And then I'd go back to NEOD. I was served with a gay guy and a lesbian. Actually, it was like a lesbian team. And I don't even like having to say. It is, but I honestly don't even like having to say that they were gay and lesbian, because in that unit, like they weren't that to me. They were team members.
They just did it. They did their job. They weren't being. Yeah.
I was like, hey man, so been thinking about dick today, or hey ladies, women are cool, right? Am I right? Am I right? Like. That doesn't cross your mind when you're trying to train to defuse bombs in foreign countries, and so it kind of has a time and place. So I'm really interested in where this goes, especially with the transvestite thing coming into play.
I definitely think that there's going to be a whole lot of issues when it comes to, like I said, the behaviors and stuff, because a lot of people might see some of the stuff that they're doing that is creeping us out or whatever as like totally normal to them, and they don't see anything wrong with it. And then,
bro, if I was 18 years old and you invited me to a sorority, if I could join a sorority at 18 years old,
yeah, you'd be like, oh my god, what? Yeah.
How much do I got to pay for this? Oh, it's free. I'm gonna get paid to be. Oh shit! Right. Sign me up.
surrounded by all these ladies. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean I get it, but I think sharp complaints are just going to go through the roof. To be honest with you, but
They'll
who
figure it
knows?
out. I think we have some good leaders in there. You remember First Sergeant Rink, by
That's true.
chance? Rink.
Mm, doesn't ring a bell anymore.
He was Rink
I just remember First
was
Sergeant Sage.
that was your first sergeant? No. It Hood.
Oh, Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have him.
Mm.
Was that the guy with all the wives?
No, just one awesome wife. That's funny you say that though, because I think I know what you're talking about.
Some
But
First Sergeant had other wives, like something to do with wives.
I think it was polygamist or something. But
Yeah.
this first sergeant, he is a command sergeant major now, and he
Nice.
your circumstance that you were in was very similar to mine.
Mhm.
And the difference between me getting out of there in a year and you having to stay there and go through what you did, I think is my first sergeant. I didn't say that earlier because I wanted you to get it all out. But I told him my relationship problems, and he literally got a piece of chalk and went on the green board in the first sergeant room and drew out all my problems and everyone involved. And he says, "Do you feel stupid enough now to not walk away, you dumb piece of shit?" I was like, oh. Well, when you draw it out like that, I do feel pretty fucking stupid. He's like, all right, get back to work.
Like,
You're better
I
than
guess
this.
I gotta cut it out.
Yeah. So I was blessed by having
Yeah.
a leader like that who's invested in me, not trying to be hard on me, but trying to be real. Like, hey, you're 25 years old. You're better than this. You got all these relationship problems. Are you here for relationships, or are you here for
Yeah.
to serve your country?
Get it together, man.
Like, you're supposed to be leading soldiers. Like, I'm promoting you. Are you going to lead soldiers, or do I have to worry about you and your relationship problems? Because I'm counting on you to lead these other soldiers. What do you want to choose here? I'm like, oh, what am I doing? So
Yeah. I mean, just having somebody to put it in perspective, right? So
instead of saying I have
so
nothing
nice.
for you,
Yeah, nothing. I couldn't even draw that out for me, man. It would have been great. I probably would have been able to see the diagram of crap. You know,
he didn't even write it. He didn't even write, I
it's just
have nothing for you. He didn't even write that for you.
honestly, man. Like I pulled my records one day to go look at just what the guy wrote down on the thing, and it was very basic, like nothing, really intensely written. Like it's supposed to be more information in a medical record. It was like, patient presents with an ongoing relationship conflict and conflict with his unit and interpersonal relationships. Diagnosis is generalized anxiety. Like, oh, okay, thanks, man. Like, what? That's it? That's all you got on him? Appreciate it, man.
How
So,
thick? How thick of is your packet?
oh, like the medical paperwork and stuff. I
Yeah.
think it's about that thick, man. It's not that bad.
I got like 2 reams.
Oh wow, nice,
Well, I mean, it's not impressive. Like,
nice.
in no other aspect of my life do I have that. So, but, I literally went
No, of
through
course.
I went through the same thing you did, but on the outgoing part of it. After 7 years, I had
Yeah.
one good counselor who was like, "Hey, you're getting DUI. Obama is basically telling all the generals to cut everybody. You're going to go through hell the next year."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Wow, I really appreciate you being honest with me."
right. And they're just gonna muscle you out.
And she was being honest with me. She's like, "I've been here for 20 years. Like, you're just in one of those weird cycles, and you're gonna be fine."
Yeah,
And she sit there and talk to me, and she got promoted, to a better position somewhere else. And then I was stuck with some dude like you. We were talking about. He said, "Oh, so tell me about your problems."
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, my phone's on ring. I didn't mean. Hey, can I call you back later? Yeah, I'm here with a patient. All right. And I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
I'm super depressed. What is going on right now? What happened?
Yeah.
Is she calling to talk to me? Who's that on the phone with you? So it happens.
Yeah. It sucks though. But I'll keep going. You know, there are better things to do. It's true.
I don't know, man. It's
Oh, am I frozen again?
no, you're not. You know, I had a hard time naming this podcast, and I figured the Blue Falcon would be like the best name for it.
It's a good
Just-
name.
Well, just because I know that what hurts the most is having soldiers next to you think that you're the Blue Falcon.
Yep. I'm not trying to get it, but whatever. I think everybody's always concerned with themselves, like in the sense of the limelight is always shining on you, watching you, but everybody's concerned with themselves anyways. So
We're all the stars of our own movie, right?
you just kind of have to, yeah. So you just have to realize, like, actually, no one's paying attention to me. It doesn't matter.
Which is also hard.
I mean, I
hard-
highly
hard to-
encourage everybody to just go take a dose of mushrooms and figure out the world, and you'll be fine. You'll be immediately clear on why you think all the weird things you do. But
Is that
that's coming from a personal perspective, not a medical opinion. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I figured that you were going by, a Joe Rogan podcast or something you saw. So, do you actually suggest? No, you can't suggest anything. That's weird to talk about. Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble.
Psychedelic treatment for therapy.
What
No,
have you
you-
researched?
it's fine.
What have you researched?
I
on
mean,
it?
So it's my understanding that if someone were to utilize psilocybin mushrooms, or potentially ecstasy, but that's really probably not
Dangerous.
the best way to go because it's a lot of upper, it's just a lot of up, and you're not going to get a clean cut anyways. It's probably impossible. But you can get mushrooms, and you can see what they are. They have been shown to greatly reduce symptoms that people feel from PTSD. People have immediately decided that they want to stop nicotine craving, and like nicotine use, like immediately starts to wane, and like quite quickly people have given up cigarettes after using those because they have kind of cancer or just bad circumstances that are having issues accepting things, have taken them and found profound meaning to their existence. But they are useful for people who might be as a not a tool doing too hot when it comes to just taking psychotropic medication for their mental illnesses, but to use this as like a treatment to see if maybe you can some insight into, and then you'll have typically in a psychedelic experience you'll have a lot of profound come to realizations about your behavior, realization, or choices, or whatever. And you have these moments where you don't care that you did this thing anymore, and you give up on it, or you're not going to let it bother you. I mean, I think it's very useful, and from personal experience, I can tell you that it seems to work.
So for me, I've had extenuating circumstances in my religious endeavor with Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So I've felt things in my life that I am curious. I'll never know. No one will ever know. That if my experiences were not, I was seeking them because I experienced them at a young age, and so
Right.
I was expecting them slash understanding that there is an afterlife, and so my mind's always kind of been open to
Right.
that. And I wonder if sometimes, well, there's two scenarios, or maybe more than two. Obviously, more than two. Sometimes people take drugs. Take drugs. Sometimes kids take mushrooms
Yeah.
to hang
It's a
out.
party. It's a party.
Let's take mushrooms and freak out
Yeah.
and hope that our parents will come home to find us like figuring out that spiders are crawling on us, right?
Yeah.
Not that I've experienced that personally, but I saw that personally. Also, I think that maybe sometimes whatever's in the mushrooms, the experiences that you're talking about, maybe it forces people to pause and slow down,
Yes.
and it kind of brings that realm to them. Versus, in my life where I've kind of been seeking it or understanding it or keeping my ears open for it. Was that possible? Do you think that?
Well, I mean,
I've been abducted by aliens.
it's
It's
a
probably a better
hallucination.
uh, explanation of that.
Right. I mean, but you clear mushrooms hallucinating, right? And I mean, you're completely aware that the hallucination when you're on these is occurring, and there is no like, I don't know that I'm hallucinating. Is this real or not? Like, you definitely know that that's all in your head. You're in complete control. You're in the driver's seat, man. Unless you're taking like heroic doses, which I would
You said
probably
heroic.
suggest
That's
you don't
hilarious.
do that unless you are trying. Yeah, I mean, just put an elephant down. Don't go that high. But I think
No hero status.
if I could recommend it, I would say be alone in a safe place and the intention to think about things that you're not used to thinking about, and it'll just come. You know, you got a whole subconscious that's suppressed all day long, every day by other
That's what
stuff.
I'm getting. That's what I'm getting
So
at. That subconscious aspect of that. Like I don't
mhm.
walk around and be like, "Hey, there's an alien. He's gonna abduct me later." Like I have these wild experiences, especially at a young age. Um, if I get abducted like right now, I'd be like, "I'm 34 years old. Take me." Fuck it, it's 2021. I'm
Yeah,
done. You know, but at 12, 13 years old, consistently, like once, twice a week for
right.
years, like that weighs on you in a way that when I'm by myself, I had always tried to feel things out. Not like mushrooms would do to me by any means, but I wonder sometimes if that feeling of external connection, right? That subliminal, what
Mhm.
else is out there, was always with me. So I've never done mushrooms, is what I'm trying to tell you. But I hear that for PTSD, it's good. Um, Especially if you need to be forced to sit down, relax, face that other aspect of life or the unknown.
Yeah, I mean, and I think part of the beauty of it is really once you've made the decision to eat them, you're on the fucking ride for 8 hours, man. There is no, okay, talk about this, let's walk away. It's yeah, you can walk away for a minute, but I'm coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. And
That
they'll
sounds
eat
like
at you
awful to
until
me.
you
I don't
figure.
want that. I don't want that at
Yeah,
all.
man. So
Just by the time
you
I'll
are
be like, hey
forced.
man, I'm good.
Well, describe the yeah. No, it's like if you didn't hash it out all the way, you're gonna hash it out. So
That's great.
they're starting to do treatments of those things with doctors and patients together, so that way it's a little more supervised. But yeah,
Well, talking
if
about
you're on the
male
fence,
female, male
go for
female
it,
kind
man.
of thing. Like we're talking about,
What? Oh, if
like
you're
take
on the
some
fence with
drugs and hang out, like with a
using
doctor.
those,
Like you gonna have a female doctor take some drugs and hang out and see what happens. Is that
Yeah,
what we're
man,
talking about?
do it.
Like, that's not a VA facility I've ever heard of. But
Typically, they would. No, typically they would talk to you
yeah,
about stuff
yeah.
that you've already discussed with them in
I know
previous
I know some
meetings. So
some
that
people are
way,
like, oh, what?
you know, do some therapy. But it would. What? Yeah, what's going on?
I'm wondering
So
if
it would be interesting. I think in the next 10 years in medicine, you'll start to see that come through.
I don't understand how in the hell we don't have marijuana legalized. What in the hell is going on? Is there not
I
one
think that,
thing we
that
can all agree on?
it's. I think it's a crime that it's. Yeah, it's not bad. Just do it. You know.
In
I
moderation,
mean,
honestly. Like,
if you had to ask me, at least you know, maybe don't smoke it all the time. Eat it. You know, vaporize it in a safe way. You know, that's better than combustion on your lungs. So
I don't smoke really, but I know for a fact that my dog, I give him CBD little treats. At
yeah,
13 years old, he's like
love
a
it.
brand new dog. If I don't give him, if I forget for whatever reason to give him his little CBD treats in the morning, like by afternoon he's like, "Hey, Bobby, man, I cannot
I need my
move.
hip medicine, man. Yeah.
I got to go outside and piss, and you're over here not even paying attention. You understand? I can't move right now." So I'm like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." So as soon as I give him to him, he's like, "Thanks, man." He like lays down. 10, 15 minutes later, he's ready to go outside, run, play.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, it's a cash crop. So until they can figure out how to make sure they're getting their money, you're not going to get it.
Afghanistan, heroin. Sorry. Did you know
Yeah.
that
Not
90%
great.
of the world's opium comes from 90% of the world's illegal opium comes from Afghanistan?
Yeah. I'm sure it's getting shipped on planes that are paid by government people, man. Like, it would not
We
surprise
all
me.
saw American Gangster,
Yeah.
Denzel Washington. By the way, great job. Thanks for watching my podcast.
To the streets.
We're going all the way up to the supply, cutting the middleman
Yes.
out.
He's here.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Good luck.
it was interesting in being
Crazy
in the,
world, man.
being in the EOD world. I had some contractors who were hired to train us on
Mhm.
different things. One of the things was how to handle local village farmers and their what you would call the revenue, but their crop,
Yeah.
and how to deal with
Yeah.
the Taliban trying to come and take that crop along with the DEA. And I remember sitting there during like a training
Oh, fun.
exercise, at this village, mock village, and I'm like, "What's a DEA? What's okay? Why are we practicing for the DEA being here? What the hell are you talking about?" Like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, DEA is involved, all this stuff."
Oh, okay.
Okay, our DEA, like not Afghan DEA. And he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay."
Yeah, they're bringing it back for evidence, man. Sure.
I'm like, "How do you get a job in the DEA, man?"
Yes, right. Well, with your background, you'd probably go work for the ATF.
With my background, brother, that ain't nobody gonna hire me. I'm
Come on.
I'm a risk when it comes to, I guess, call 'em bullshit.
That's true.
You
We
know,
could I could write you a letter of recommendation one day. Don't you worry.
hey, I got a recommendation from a Cox.
There you go.
From
I'm
a
just
Cox
waiting until I can,
from some
you know,
Cox?
write all my veteran buddies
Oh, that's a terrible time for
prescriptions
my
you know, medical marijuana
camera freeze.
and stuff. Oh,
Yeah, actually, I'm really looking forward to that too. Marijuana is illegal, so whenever I run for
I'm like, and
Congress here,
you get a card, and you get a card, and you get a card.
everyone look under your seats. You're all getting cards. All right, and you call everyone for like a seminar on like how to stop smoking.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So I think
Everybody that needs a card, you're going to meet me in this big room, and we're all going to have one big meeting where you're all now my patients.
this is my puppy. So I think what would be cool is if we try to get as many
So
of
cute.
the. Look at him. He's so old. He's like an old man. He hates the camera. He's looking at it right now. He's like, "Really, Bobby? I didn't even put my makeup on." You know I'm high right now on that
I don't
CBD
know.
shit. That'd be cool if we had like a well, Alpha. What were we? Alpha 330?
Alpha 2330.
If we had like a huge Zoom call, like see how many people from that unit we could get like in a Zoom call.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Be rowdy.
There's got to be some moderators. There's got to be
good.
some moderators. Yeah, I think we should try to do that, man. I think that'd be cool.
Yes. Yeah, I think it would be good. Just open session, zoom it up. I think if you send out like a save the date and then have people, you know ahead of time.
How far out do you think we should try to do this?
Knowing all these lazy fucks, at least a month.
I was gonna go with at least 6 weeks. Yeah, I'm down with that. You know, they'll hear
Because
it. And
they
they'll
got,
be like,
they got so much to do in this quarantine. They're so busy.
Bro, I don't know how many times I've heard people
next
say.
week, I think.
I've heard so many people say, "Man, yeah, I haven't been doing much lately." I'm like, "Oh, really? Staying busy then?" Like, yeah, I was really bored. I'm like,
I think I got to go to the post office.
"Yeah,
Next
like,
week. Maybe.
like this is the time to like start a business or like go to school or I don't know,
Anything.
not invest in Dogecoin."
Oh man, I bought $100. What are you talking about?
Okay, okay.
Hold
David,
the line.
you can afford $100. That $100 may be like worth like $1,000 in like a month, right?
It could be.
And
we'll see
you're
who's
gonna buy
laughing.
drinks for everybody. Okay, I'm looking at the calendar right now. Sorry.
That's right.
All right, calendar. So I want to make sure that we put a date on here, like right now, while I'm thinking about it. So this is the 16th. A month from now is St.
Yep.
Patrick's Day on the 17th of March.
Ooh. Probably going to be good. No one can go anywhere. There's nothing going on.
I mean, St. Patty. I think it's like a winter.
Bring your beer. Come hang out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. It is.
Yeah, come enjoy the big green weenie of the army once again on St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. St. Patrick's Day. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to say that one.
There you go.
The big army,
All yours.
the Army Weenie reunion on St. Patrick's Day. Bring your beers.
All right.
The Army's bringing the weenie. All right, cool.
I see.
All right, man. Well, I'm getting tired. I'm sure you are too.
Yeah. I got to get out of here and go tend to the girlfriend for a little bit, man. See what she's up to.
Well, hopefully it's not up to too much. I mean, she can't go anywhere.
But that's right. Keep them under lock and key.
Yeah, make sure she's in there. You know, I'm not gonna say that. I'm happy for you and your beautiful girlfriend. I hope you guys had a beautiful Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
I do want you to leave on a good note here. So I'll give you the last message for people in your circumstance that feel like they're in the closet for a week.
Yeah, longer. I mean, if you're feeling like you're just not having a good time, and even if you try to go do the right things and talk to people and they tell you that there's nothing that they could do or there's nothing that you can do, they're absolutely wrong. I mean, there's always something that you can do, and I strongly suggest that any amount of time that you have where you're just sitting there not really sure, just start writing everything down on a piece of paper. And you know, if that's going to school and you have questions and stuff, I mean, you can reach out to Bobby or me. I'm sure we can,
Definitely
figure out something that can get you where you need to go. I have a pretty good roadmap that I've figured out when it comes to the school thing. So, I mean, and if you're also looking at trying to actually go to like big university stuff, and you want to go up higher and you've got the grades and stuff, I mean, by all means, I am connected with many groups that are Ivy League veteran groups and things like that. And, I'd love to get you where you can go to something like that, because that'll change your life, not saying you got to go be a doctor, but,
David, that's so awesome to see you. That's so awesome to
be a plumber. I don't care.
But you're offering to share your spoils of war.
Yeah, I mean, we got 100 positions that are available at this school, and I think only 25 or 30 of them are filled. So
that's crazy.
And I'm
all right.
I'm always in contact with them. So.
Well,
all right, man. Take it easy.
God bless America. David, thank you for your time. Hold on, I gotta play some outro music. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Get this going. All right.
I'll be excited when the final cut comes in.
Oh no, there's no editing on this thing. Everyone have a good night. Appreciate everyone watching. I have no way to outro this. There you guys.